Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
I'm also here with James Farley.
Hello.
And that's it. It's a three-man show this week. Wow. Look at that.
It's finally happened.
Should we play a little game before we start the feedback, Matt? What do you reckon?
Yeah,
I've got a little game. I mean, it was only because I've only done this just before we started the show because Joe's watching EastEnders and I thought I'll play the Switch and the Joy-Cons have run out of battery. So I was like, oh,
wow.
Yeah, because I play in TV mode quite a bit and I can't be bothered to unplug them and put them back onto the Switch thing before I go to bed, so I just leave it out for days on end. And
that's like 24 hours of play, isn't it?
It's not. It's nowhere near that. I'm pretty sure it's not anyway. But right, okay. So got this game. Pretty much ripped it off of Adam Buxton. I was looking at a bunch of launch trailers on YouTube, and I'm going to read you a comment out from the launch trailer, and you guys have to guess what the game is. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. And we'll make this a competition, so you can both answer.
I'm not sure about this new direction for the show, Dave, but we'll carry on.
I'm just, mate, we've got to mix something up, and we're lacking a guest. We're lacking that cutting edge this week.
He's been gone only 2 or 3 weeks now. On 1 week we didn't put an episode out, and now week 2 we're doing variety games at the start of the show.
I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to fill the Sean-shaped gap.
You could have told us about this before, like the show, rather than right now.
I mean, I've literally just done it. It's not something that's taken hours of preparation that I've been planning on for a week.
It is fine, James. I mean, we've all had to do new things for the show. I've got a hints and tips and cheats section later.
I'd love to do that. Hints and tips from the man that can barely get through a single computer game.
Yeah, because
that's beautiful.
I need the hints.
Do you know how much
tips?
effort goes into walkthroughs and tips and hints sections on websites? The amount of hours they have to put in.
Do you know, actually, if I was running a website and Matt was my employee, I would assign him to have to write walkthroughs because I think that'd be amazing.
I wouldn't. Have you done it? No, I can't get past the first boss. The first boss?
No, the question is, have you done it? No, because IGN haven't done it, and they haven't done their walkthrough, and I can't read it, and no one on GAF's got it yet.
Right. So here's the first comment. Make the game a little easier, and I want 2 charms at once. More everything also. Make the easy so I don't get mad and try to kill myself.
What?
I'll give you a hint. All these games come out in 2017.
So, is this a review?
No, this is the launch trailer, a comment on YouTube for the launch trailer.
Okay, cool.
Also, remember that a lot of this stuff, the YouTube comments. I mean, fucking listen up. I've already said this.
Yeah, but YouTube comments are just incoherent nonsense anyway. There's no way we're going to guess these.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
No,
Forza 7 is a good game marred by microtransactions. What game's that for, James? What game's that for? Right, okay, I'll read it again. Make the spelt THW game a little easier, and I want 2 charms at once. More everything, also make the easy so I don't get mad and try and kill myself.
I've got it.
Right, go on.
Is it Cuphead?
That's your guess, Matt?
Well, I mean, Cuphead sounds like a good one. No, because this is a sequel, I think, to a game that came out previously, but it's out this year. Really hard. I can't think.
Matt, come on, man. What the fuck are you doing?
What, Destiny?
Are you trying to sabotage my thing? Right, you're saying Destiny. Okay. It's 1-0 to James. It was Cuphead.
Hey.
Next one.
This is a good game. Go on.
Yeah, I know, it is good. This shite is for children. Blank. Are scam artists. Nothing will ever become of Joseph Stanton's butchered exposition. I wasted 3 years, $170 on challengeless treadmill of a video game that you ignorant swine can't admit to any critical thinking of because you so badly need to believe that you're interesting yourself in something worthwhile. That's the end.
Okay, can I buzz in?
Go on.
That's got to be Destiny 2.
Matt?
Hang on. I'm trying to think of a game that came out this year. Zelda.
There's been a few. There's 2-0 to James. It was Destiny 2 that time.
Okay, I need to get in first. That's
I'm a
my...
bit worried
come
that
on,
I can figure out what these YouTube, the
Yeah,
comments are saying.
I know, because basically James wrote them all. That's the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. If I could, I would give every criminal in the world this game and force them to play it. I'm sure they'd be cured and would truly see nature's beauty.
Oh, me. Is it the Everything game?
Right, everything, James?
What's that? What's Matt talking about? I don't even know what
There's a
he's talking
game called Everything where you like zoom in and out.
Oh, okay.
It's quite well known.
about. I have no idea whatsoever. Golf
I'll say
Story.
again. If I could, I would give every criminal in the world this game and force them to play it. I'm sure they'd be cured and would truly see nature's beauty.
Okay. Future Unfolding.
No points that round. That was Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
That was my...
This one I think is going to be quite tough. This game looks better than any other game. And if you think MVC Infinite and Detroit looks better than this, you are on crack.
That's quite hard.
No, it is.
Oh. What's been some really good-looking games this year?
I don't
There's
know,
too
mate.
much
I'm not
dead air.
helping you
This is
out.
horrible.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Well, this is it. You're supposed to be, at least talking. Come on, guys. Don't just say at the same time.
Can you give us a clue? Just a clue.
No.
Oh.
All right. Okay. It come out quite recently.
Destiny.
We've already had that, Matt.
Okay, Matt's
Not
already.
gonna be that.
Matt thinks I'm just scrolling down the Destiny thing. Fine. James.
I don't know. New Assassin's Creed. There you go.
No. It is Agents of Mayhem.
What?
I don't know.
What is wrong with that person? But yeah,
He's on
sure.
crack.
Okay, so just I think what is there? There's 3 left. Okay. Please
Probably-
don't tell me that was a dab at 0.25. If so,
Stop.
animation needs to be fixed. You don't stop me, Matt. That's not. We didn't. That's not fun. You've invented your
I
own
was
rules in
buzzing
your
in.
head. Go on,
It's Mario and Rabbids.
Marion Rabbids from Matt. James.
See, it definitely is that, or it's Mario Kart. So I'm not sure. But
Well, he said 2017 games.
Matt was first. Matt was
2017
first.
game.
So
Oh,
you
but-
know.
I
Yeah,
got-
exactly. Yeah, I'm going
James, you
Mario
can-
Kart, but
You can pick the same, but
all right, okay. Well, I'm going to pick the same then. I'm picking
all right. Well,
rabbits.
you're both wrong. Still, it's FIFA 18.
Ugh.
Also,
The
Mario Kart came out
animation on the
this year, Farley, on Switch. That
Yeah, on
would've been
Switch
good.
it did. Yeah,
That would've been a good one.
That's a good point. Well, you would have been wrong anyway. So what is it? Is it still 2-0 to James?
yeah.
Or did Matt get?
Do I win a
no, it's
prize?
2-0 to James. No, you get fuck all. But then Matt could equalise if he bangs these two.
Yeah, I'm going to get him in now.
Here we go. The game is fine, but I do not see it right that you have to play online. Sorry, let me say that again. The game is fine, but I do not see it right that you have to pay online, since a lot of money you get out of all these accessories that sell, and also the same console is very expensive. Like if it's true.
So I was going to say Overwatch, but that's last year, isn't it?
That was last year, yeah.
I'm going to say Forza 7.
Yeah, I'm
That's
going
going
to
Forza 7.
I'm going to go Forza 7 as well.
You're both wrong.
Oh,
It's Splatoon 2.
what?
What?
And that was 2 months ago, so we already knew that, we didn't have to pay for Splatoon 2. That was made 2 months ago. Okay, last one. I don't know, this might be the hardest one. There is a clue in here, though. It looks really good, but I would much rather watch a playthrough of this game than to buy a PlayStation 4 and the game itself. If I had a PlayStation 4, I would still not buy it. It just doesn't offer a lot of content. At least like I would like it to. Right, okay. If it was open world, now that would be something. I hope everyone who is buying it at least enjoys it. I'll be sticking to my Xbox One S and high-end PC. Smiley face.
Okay, I'm gonna have a guess here because I think that the commenter's wrong. and it's probably Horizon Zero Dawn. But Matt, what do you think?
Okay. I think it is. Oh, fuck! I had it in my head then, but you said something, James, and it flew out of my head. Oh yeah, it's the new Uncharted game.
Matt, unlike Crystal Palace, you have scored a point.
Scored a goal.
It's got a goal. It was Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Good shout. So it's 2-1 to Matt. Well done, Matt. This is the last time we do a game because I can't.
We're not doing that game because that's
just no charisma.
It's 2-1 to James, by the way.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
Is it 2-1 to Matt?
James. Whatever. I'm not a good show host either, so let's just move on. Forget this ever happened.
I'm gonna.
What's the feedback?
We got some real-time feedback. They said that game was bollocks. Don't do games at the start of the show again.
You could have done it after like 3, Dave. You didn't have to keep going. It was too much.
I see, because I was going to do more, and then I thought, no, I'll hold it back.
I thought I got in the swing of things after a while. We should do it for a good 15 minutes.
Okay, let's just move on.
Episode.
Let's just not. Let's move on. Go on.
We'll do half an hour next week.
I'm trying, guys.
James Swift Day on the Twitter. Why was everyone ragging on JCA Farley over the Wii Shop closure? Lots of good games potentially going to be lost, and people have spent dozens, if not hundreds of pounds on VC and eShop games over the years. It's more than a shame.
See?
I genuinely don't care.
I know you don't care.
Those tweets.
But this is the worst thing about you, though, David. It's like if something doesn't personally affect you, you just don't care. It has no connect. You don't have any empathy whatsoever for other people.
No, well, I think there's worse things. James, I don't know what you want. Do you want me to lie and fake outrage? Is that what you're after?
No, I just want you to understand how other people feel. Just like have a grain of empathy.
Have I said... Well, hold on. Have I said that you shouldn't feel angry about it?
No, you just said, I don't care. And it's like...
So I don't care?
What, yeah, but you can still have some feeling for how other people feel about it.
So, right, okay, out of all the things in the world, James, right, at this point, out of all the things in the world, I should be caring about someone who's not allowed to download their...
That's complete bollocks, right? You can't just say... No, you can't just say, oh... You know, like, oh, there's like bad things going on in the world. There's other things that I care more about.
No, just saying, it's just in the grand scheme of things, it's not something that I'm going to get all upset about.
David, James is asking you to change your profile picture.
What the fuck is he talking about, Matt? Do you give a shit?
I don't give a shit, but I can also, I can see how some people would be pissed off if they spent hundreds of pounds. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, if you spent hundreds of pounds, fine, but are you still playing them, really?
Well, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, spending hundreds on the Wii eShop, I don't really understand that.
Oh, well, you've got to understand, James. You've got to understand that.
There's some good games on there, but it's not. But not that many great ones. But yeah,
what are you, some sort of monster? You've got to understand that some people are going to be upset.
It's just having like a feeling for another human being. You know,
James, you're really selfish, mate. This is the worst thing about you. You've really upset me. You let me down. Next.
James Swift Day is livid of you, James. We on last week's episode, we talked about the new PSVR headset. The fact that there's minimal differences, but it allows you to. It's got a HDR thing, whatever. Aaron Ashmore tweeted in saying that you can basically get this thing on Amazon if you search for Ugreen HDMI cable extender. It's £5. That basically does the whole HDR pass through. So with your existing PSVR, it's like a little tiny dongle that goes on it, really. So I might buy that myself.
Yeah, but that's not just it, though, is it? That's not the whole reason.
No, but that's the big reason. It's either that or it's like cables slightly better, sure, and headphones are slightly better, but the big thing is HDR pass through, and if this little dongle for £5 does it, that sounds like a good bet. So
how does that work, though? I don't understand. If the actual console, if the processing box or whatever doesn't do it, how the fuck can a little dongle like that completely switch what that does?
Because
what's the deal?
I'm going to assume that this dongle, whatever this does, that's just going to be built into the new processor box. Like you could have done this. Well, you can do this up to now, so it's obviously a simple change. Who knows? Anyway,
they made a good point on the Beastcast this week. Are Sony making it really clear what version of the headset you're buying when you go out and buy one like this year? Is there going to be a clear, this is the newer revised model, and this is the old one?
No. I mean, they've never done it with any of their consoles, really. You have to look. You have to no. Sorry, it's like
he's right.
Yeah, you have to look at what the CUH number. Like after I got burgled last year and bought a new Pro, I wanted to make sure it was a new one. And if you just type in PlayStation 4 on Amazon or whatever, they'll just give you, but I had to make sure it was like CUH 1200 or whatever it was, or maybe it wasn't a Pro, maybe it was the one before, whatever. Like, you always have to check that you got the latest version because Sony just like put new ones out on the channel.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because they do between the launch PS4s and the Slim. Right?
Of course,
you definitely know what you're getting there. And then you actually get the PSPs, the amount of the Vitas and stuff like that. They made it very clear that there was a newer version and an older version or whatever. But you're right, yeah. When there's been like slight differences, like the matte top rather than a shiny one, and the different buttons on it and stuff like that. But fundamentally, there wasn't that much different with the console, was there?
No, but
why did you want that specific model of PS4?
There is sometimes differences because sometimes they, like in the past, especially like with PS2s, they used to have like different DVD drives in them, and so you wanted to make sure you got one that was manufactured by, like, say, for example, Samsung or whatever, because they lasted longer or didn't break.
Yeah,
you know, there are reasons.
Right, but this seems more than that. This seems like a bigger change than that, because this headset literally lets you do something that the old one doesn't.
Yeah, I still think if anyone's going to buy a PS4, I don't think Sony are going to be like, hey, this is a new one. I don't think they're going to do that. I think if you're buying something, you just need to look for the new model number.
That seems pretty mad, because that's quite a big difference between the two, isn't it? And Matt, when you were looking through the different model numbers for the PS4 Pro, what
actually,
were you
right
looking
now,
for?
I don't think it was a Pro. I think it was the actual PS4.
Brilliant. So, I mean, this is nonsense story, isn't it?
No.
Well,
it's a PS4.
I mean, I'm talking to a bunch of guys you're making it up on the spot.
It was a PS4 that I got different because it had different RAM, and it was because that was when I got that PS4, and that was all matte versus one before it was half of it shiny, half of it wasn't.
It had different RAM.
Yeah, it had faster RAM in that one. So, and which
faster RAM. What were the advantages of getting that?
It made me quiet, and I wanted to make sure it was one of the new models, which was all matte, not one of the old models.
Okay, whatever. Okay, fine. All I'm saying is that this seems like a bigger difference than what you're telling me here.
Hello, faster RAM. Did you hear me? Hello? Is this?
I don't even know what faster RAM means, Matt.
I just told you it's faster. Next bit of follow-up.
God.
SMW Ustavu. He's also called Not a Spaceship Elsewhere Online. This man's got a million names, whatever.
What's the man with a million names?
Really weird when when discussing Xbox exclusives, you guys always leave out Halo 5. Granted, the campaign was a big disappointment, but I thought the arena multiplayer was fantastic, and after support for that game, the after support for that game from 343 Interactive has been sublime. Playing Crucible now on Destiny 2, and I was kind of wishing it was a bit more like Halo 5, criminally overlooked by so many now already. I've not played Halo,
so that's why I haven't brought it up. But I've heard nothing but bad things, and you've both played it, right?
The campaign really was not very good. It was pretty terrible from what I remember.
Oh yeah, it absolutely sucked. I mean, I love Halo games, but my god, that's just absolutely diabolical. I will agree with Stu there. The arena multiplayer. No, what's the multiplayer mode? Even last review, remember James, where it was very sort of esports orientated. It's just like 4-on-4, quite stylized, almost Tron-like levels. I thought that was really fantastic. The huge arena multiplayer I wasn't such a fan of because that was all about cards and dropping like sort of certain warthogs in the map, and I wasn't such a fan of that. But the smaller, tighter, esports focused maps, I thought they were really good. But a campaign.
But if you like that stuff, then why would you not recommend that when we're talking about?
I just totally forgot about it, frankly. And yeah, I just
it was
I was disappointed. Good. Yeah, I thought it was good, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean,
Okay.
Dave.
Okay.
Hyman. Me_Hyman. Hythen. God, Dave, change your name to Me Hyman. It's probably better than
_Hyman.
Yeah.
It's hyphen. It says hyphen.
I know it says hyphen. Whatever. Dave. His name's Dave. I'm probably late on this as I'm an episode behind. But now we know that Sean was the pink one. When we know the identities of the other stripes? Now, obviously, for the eagle-eyed out there, you might have realised or noticed that we've changed our logo in this post Sean Bell era. So we got one of the stripes and we made it grey. It's like a little tribute. I mean, Sean's not dead, but it's like a little tribute to Sean, isn't it? And then when he comes back, we'll change it. So for many new listeners who come in, they'll probably think, oh, this is the artwork. And when we change it pink, they'll be like, why is one of the bars pink now?
You've thought about this way too much, Matt.
Well, just
way too much. You're thinking about future listeners. Look, you'll know when someone else leaves. That's the answer to the question. You'll know when someone else leaves.
Yeah.
And their colour will go grey. That's how we're doing
And if
it.
the podcast ends, everything will go great.
But if the podcast ends, you might as well get off the internet. What's the point? Know what I mean?
Peter Beckett is next. This is in response to the previous episode where Matt was talking about Wii Sports Bowling. I was walking along while listening to the podcast and was laughing so much about Matt being toned on one side that I had to take a rest, and people must have clearly thought I was drunk. I was, for those of you who didn't listen to last week's show, I talked about how I played Wii Bowling so much where my left side was incredibly toned and rather muscular. My right side was a big flabby mess. So that's the dangers of Wii Sports
Which
Bowling.
obviously is a joke, so I wouldn't take it too seriously.
No. It was. I mean, it wasn't like Two-Face's face, but there was a definite difference. I should have taken a picture.
Here's the thing, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't mention this. I'd move on and not kick off about it, right? But the amount of grief that you tried to give me over this 25 times on Banjo-Kazooie thing, there is literally no way you were toned one side and not the other by playing fucking Wii Sports Bowling.
On that side. Ask my mum.
Absolute bollocks, Matt.
No,
Absolute
no, that's true.
That's the sort of thing people say in school playgrounds, isn't it? This is one of those lies that people say. I'm not, I don't care.
Dave,
I was totally going to let you get away with it, but the amount you banged on about the 25 times thing.
Because that was so specific.
What? And being toned on one side of your body and flabby on the other is not specific, Matt.
Well,
what
I didn't say on my left side I had a bicep of 12 inches.
Last week you said you were ripped on one side.
Yeah, well, I was embellishing a little for the story.
Okay, embellishing.
Ben Syme has tweeted in. Hello, James, Dave, and Matt, and potentially a guest. No guest this week, Ben. Come on. I typically only send in tweets, if anything, as I'm afraid I may go on, but here it goes. Last week, Fortnite was discussed by Dave and John. A fair amount of detail was made, and although maybe the larger portion of the conversation was about the controversy behind the game existing, I did come away thinking that there was a lot more chat about this game, a clone, than the original title from Matt. Now, I'm perfectly prepared to be wrong, but maybe Matt covered PUBG for a long time in a previous show because he mentioned he was playing it, but I don't remember it being that way. I guess the main thing is, I wonder why. Is it because Matt didn't feel confident with the game, or is it more because he lacked the shared experience that John and Dave had? And he's got more, and we'll come on to that in a minute. Well, basically, I talked about PUBG in one episode because I played it for 1 week.
Please,
my PC's old.
Please stop saying PUBG. Please
That's
stop
what it's
saying
called,
it.
James.
Just call it Battlegrounds or something. Please
Matt,
don't call it that.
James, to be fair, right, I don't like it either, but there comes a time where you've just got to accept it because that's what everyone's calling it.
I don't know. It's just something about it. It upsets me every time I hear it.
But do you like X-Bone? You used to say X-Bone all the time.
I didn't.
The X-Bone. Yes,
I never said that.
You're all about the X-Bone. You got a T-shirt made up with hashtag X-Bone on it.
X-Bone. I'm sick of it.
That's what he said. James, you're alright. X-Bone. James, why have you got an X-Bone T-shirt? Ooh, X-Bone. Yeah. Oh, God. Can you come back in a week's time?
Things that never happened. But go on, just get on with it, Matt.
PUBG,
okay?
Matt, do you remember when the Xbox One was announced? Do you remember the text he was sending?
Oh, yeah.
James?
I'm not digging up on Instagram. It's just like a wall of X-Bones.
It's just non-stop X-Bone.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, let's call it X-Bone. I saw this on the internet. It's funny.
Yeah,
and we were like, all right,
everyone's saying
James.
X-Bone on that Snapchat. We've got to say X-Bone.
Yeah.
You're the Snapchat king, Matt.
All my students in the university, they're all saying X-Bone, and I want to be like them. I want to try and fit in.
Sir, what should we call it? And you're like, you got to call it X-Bone, innit? And you're like, they all did it. And like, Sir, X-Bone, and whole like.
You know what?
Lesson 1, children.
Where's Sean?
X-Bone, okay?
Will Sean please come back?
Emergency assembly. Dr.
Repeat
Farley
after
has
me.
some news.
I don't know if you've checked your English dictionaries lately, but there's a new word. I've popped it in there in Biro. It's called X-Bone. I want you all to use it 7 times
It's the
today.
new console. Nothing's going to go wrong. This is going to sell like hotcakes.
I've got 3 pre-ordered.
Yeah, nothing's going to go wrong. I've just seen a brilliant presentation of it.
Guys, just pre-ordered an X-Bone. Guys.
Anyone? X-Bone! X-Bone, get your X-Bone!
James Farley. Yeah, your response, please.
Have you finished?
A regular old Don Matrick.
Go on.
Anyway, yeah, so I played PUBG for like a week. I mean, the PC I've got it on is old, so I didn't really play it after that, and I did other things. But I did talk about it for a week, but I obviously haven't played it as much as many other people. And yes, I didn't have the shared experience that John and Dave had, but so we all had collectively more experience of Fortnite than we did PUBG.
Well,
Ben,
yeah, I mean, you didn't play it that much at all, did you?
I played about 5 hours. Basically, I played it and talked about it in that 1 week, and that was basically it. I haven't played it since.
Yeah, but this is... Can you do more of your... Because we'll get to this anyway, but can you do more of your PUBG chat on the podcast rather than in my ear when we're trying to play another game? Because we played Fortnite this week, and oh my god, for the whole first game I just wanted to turn the computer off.
Well, I was just saying, this is like...
Oh, I was surprised. They haven't got this like PUBG, have they? Well, yeah. Can you go prone like PUBG? Can you do this like PUBG? Matt, it's a different game. Just play this game, concentrate on this game. We'll go into more about that night's session. I've got a lot to talk to you about that.
Oh, I bet you have.
Go on.
Ben continues, I also want to say on the chat of our Fortnite cutting into PUBG, it seems a little blown out. Sure, the first week in a Fortnite did fantastically and it was high on Twitch compared to PUBG's numbers. It isn't that great. 1 million versus 12 million. PUBG sold 360,000 in the first 3 days. That's sold, not free. Twitch numbers, as Ben looked at the time, there was 94,000 watching Battlegrounds, whereas only 14,000 are watching Fortnite. I'm not saying the bubble has burst for Fortnite. I'm not saying it can't do bigger things, but right now it's only a small fish in a big pond. I mean, just on that point, I think John Denton tweeted today that Fortnite have announced that they've got 7 million players, which is
I mean, I
insane.
feel bad for this guy because he sent this in before the news come out today about how many players it's got. 7 million.
Yeah, that's mental. I'd never thought.
Well, this is it. I mean, and you're comparing a game that has been out. That was out a week or two at that point. You know, in terms of the battle royale mode.
Yeah, but also
a game that's been just building and building and building for over a few months.
This is also no more interesting than talking about sales figures, to be honest.
Isn't it? I think it is.
It's not. I don't care.
No, I think this has. It's quite interesting because you've got a game that had blown up on Twitch this year, completely, just stomped on everything on Twitch and become this huge success. And now you've got this other game that's completely ripped it off. And they seem to be getting more and more successful. It's interesting, and it opens up that question of, like, when it comes to copying another game, like, how far is too far, and what circumstances has it got to be in to be a total fucking piss take. Now, this is the problem that I'm in, because I hadn't played PUBG, and when I played Fortnite, I loved it. So it's there's part of me that's thinking, I know it's bad, but fuck it, I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? And that's probably the wrong thing to do. But what can you do? I can't play PUBG on my PS4.
It's a really good game. It's nothing wrong. You can't shouldn't feel guilty just because it's copied another game. If it's a good game, it's a good game.
No, but I was getting RCA when GTA said they were going to nick the idea. It turns out they didn't. And also when Freeze got totally screwed over when that came out. And then you're talking to someone and you're going, oh, give me a good mobile phone game that I can play. Oh, game guy, I play Freeze. It's really good. Well, what do you do in it? Let me show you. Oh, no, I got that for free. It's 12x75 times 4. That's the game that I've got. It's the same thing.
It's a better version.
It's not a better version.
It's
because there's
choice.
Constant adverts for Clash of Clans come up after every game. So, not a better version. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it why people would be angry about Fortnite and what it's done, but I can't join that because I'm getting to play a PUBG style game on my PlayStation for free.
And it's bloody fun. We'll talk more about that later. He says, to round us off, again, thanks for the show, and I look forward to PUBG's release on Xbone. He's written Xbone, to see you guys team up on the version you can all play.
James is nodding furiously.
James isn't going to get it, are you, James? In protest.
What? Get what? PUBG?
Yes.
I mean Battlegrounds. No, it's. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, I was going to try Fortnite, and it's, as I said, I haven't spent enough time with it, so I don't really know. But I know. I'm getting that thing, and I know this is ridiculous and stupid, but you've talked about it before as well, David. It's that thing of, like, everyone goes on about how brilliant it is, and you just think, like, I can't be bothered. It's, I don't know.
I've not really noticed that with either of these games, to be honest with you. I haven't really seen like, I see videos posted of it, and I see it all over YouTube and stuff like that, but I haven't heard people constantly bang on about, you've got to play this. That's not the feeling I get from
I don't know,
it.
it's always, in my Twitter feed, it's always people going on about it all the time. And we get emails about it all the time. It's just,
What? What? Who gets emails about it all
we
the time?
do. We keep getting emails about it. This is about the third week running.
Matt, is that true? You do? Oh, he does the emails, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
maybe he's right. I don't pick up on it. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was that in your face. Seriously, James, I think
don't
you're
know.
way too sensitive to this now.
No, it's just okay. The reason I'm sensitive to it is because of the stupid acronym. It's it's a
It
massive
all
stumbling
comes down
block
to
for
that.
me, and it's like it's just irritating. It's
But that's
a
the
really
problem. When it
irritating
comes out
acronym.
on your Xbone, you're
Yeah.
going to be torn, aren't you? Because there's one acronym you love, one you don't.
Never
Like-
ever
Yeah,
said
which
that.
one wins?
Okay.
You said when we were playing Fortnite, Dave, that you're not even fussed about it anymore.
What? No, I'm not. I'm probably not going to get it.
No, just be me then. Okay. So that's pretty much it of feedback. But basically, there was a bit of a drama in the Discord this week. Drama in inverted commas, but proper dramas. Basically, so we had a computer game show, Destiny 2 clan. We created one originally. We hit 100 people straight away, and now people are trying to play together. A lot of people who joined the clan originally either haven't got the game or they're not playing. So I created a second clan, and we created basically one for Xbox, one for PlayStation. So if anyone's listening and you may have joined the clan but haven't got Destiny, or you barely play it, or you're not really fussed, I guess what we're asking is if you could leave the clan, that'd be awesome, or at least move over to the Xbox one. Only because basically loads of people want to play, people can't get in, but they're active players. And
It's like if you could just get out. If you could just
James, you've not heard the full story here, because, I mean, what was it? Oodles sent us a message saying, look, can you please talk about what's going on in the Discord channel, because it's all kicking off a bit, right? So I logged in today and said, right, what's this all about? I saw this message on Twitter. Right, okay. I said, what's this all about? Because, I've only just seen this tweet or whatever. And then they said something about the clans, people getting angry about the clans or something on Destiny 2. They're not being run properly or whatever. And then I
That
just
wasn't
said,
what he said.
I said, well, what did he say?
Exactly. I've just literally, word for word, I've just copied
No,
everything.
what did he say to me is what I'm saying. I'm talking about what he said in the Destiny, in the Discord.
Basically, everything I've just said, word for word, here's what he said. If you guys can have a quick chat, if you're on PlayStation.
No, I'm not talking about that, because you've read that out. Oh, no, you haven't read that out. Go on, read that out.
Okay. This is what, Oodles and Mod on our Discord said. So we had a big episode of Destiny 2 clan stuff. We had no space for players, and people who were in the clan didn't even own the game, blah, blah, blah. So if you guys could do a quick second chat about if you're on PS4, join a PS4 game clan. If you're on Xbox, join the Xbox clan. If you don't own the game, fuck off. Because people are begging for space. It got very heated the other day revolving Kieran and a few others. We tried to find an alternative, but it didn't work. So the only option is to do a roll call on the show. Yeah, so
I went into Discord and put, right, what's going on? And then I had this explanation about, so if you guys could do a quick second chat about if you blah, 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 blah. And then I put, where's this? In the Destiny server, Matt Murray have a word, right? Because you've set all this up. And then the response to that was, yeah, it was, mate. Matt Murray buried his head in the sand.
yeah,
So you set all this. This is the problem, right? Because you love this social media and you love these new ideas and getting people together and stuff like this, right? If you're going to do that and set all this stuff up, you've got to maintain it, mate. You can't just.
Though. I literally invited Xbox people to join. This is boring. I did over the weekend. Like I had other people messaging me. I made changes. I got someone else in. I moved people. I invited people with Xbox to PlayStation. I renamed all the clans.
Right, but how did it get to that place in the first place? Why are people shouting about the clan you set up? Why are they angry?
Because there's a 100-person limit, and there's loads of people in there who have joined who don't play the game. It's not my fault.
This is Bungie's fault and the listeners' fault. Is that what you're saying? Is that your official stance on this, Matt?
Well, it's no one's fault. It's just
So you're saying now, after weeks of saying join our clan, you're now saying please leave our clan. I'm just trying to get an official announcement from the Computer Game Show's Matt Murray, who runs both the Discord servers and the clans. Everyone's looking at you now. You need your official statement for us. Come on.
Earlier this weekend, an altercation happened between two members. No. Basically, if you join the clan and you're not playing anymore, leave the clan. If you join the clan but you're playing on Xbox, we've created a separate Xbox clan on there. Links are in Discord. Please join that because we've got a whole load of PlayStation people waiting to get into this one. Someone else did join. Someone did create. I think Kieran joined created a second one. There were some issues in there. Whatever. I mean, it's so ridiculous at the 100-player limit, frankly.
You're not offering any apology.
No, nothing. What have I got to apologise for? Sorry, too many people joined the clan.
Oh, well, I mean, at least control it. Work out.
How can I control it?
Surely there should have been some. Well, control it. Surely there's like an invite-only mode, and you get in the people that regularly
goes in and out.
Okay, all right, James. What are your thoughts?
It's an open clan, baby.
Man, I think you just need to get it sorted out. I thought
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you were in charge of all this. And
I
it's
am
like
in charge.
I know, but every time there just seems to be drama happening, and it's
There's
like
mad dramas. I've got two. This is boring. If you want to tweet us,
I'm not finding this boring at all, Matt. Go on, carry on.
Well, that's it for follow-up. If you want to tweet us, it's at ComputerGamePod on Twitter or thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. Please send me DMs on Discord, on Twitter, if there's any issues with the clans. I'm doing as much as I can right now.
James, if anything comes out of this conversation is that I respect you a hell of a lot more, because at least you stand up for yourself and you go for it, and you never back down. All right, sometimes to a fault, and I'm the same, but you never back down. You give it and you take it or whatever. Matt just go, let's move on. This is boring. Let's move on. He does that all the time.
I'm here all night, Dave.
Well, we have, but you keep going. Well, this is boring. That's it for follow up. That's it. Come on.
I set the clans up. They're hugely popular, so sue me, right? I don't know.
He's angry.
Many more people play on PlayStation and Xbox, and then Xbox people in the clan. I mean, some really good souls have left and moved over to the Xbox clan. I mean,
Matt, did you know that there's a 100-person limit on the clan when you set it up?
No, only when someone the other day said we've hit the limit, and I'm like, you're joking, aren't you? So that's why I created a second clan, called it the Xbox one. Yeah. Hardly anyone's playing on Xbox. I mean, blame Microsoft if anything.
Unbelievable. Okay. Before we move on to, is it what you've been playing next? Oh, it's news, isn't
news,
it?
Yeah.
Before we move on to news, I thought probably the biggest thing that's happened this week, very, very, very special week this week, and we're all very excited to announce that James has started his stream.
Yes.
His Beyond Two Souls stream.
So proud.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose you're going to be talking about that on the What's It, aren't you?
Yeah, probably.
What you've been playing?
A little bit anyway. I don't know when I'm going to play it next is the problem, because I started playing it and I don't really feel a huge desire to go back to it, but
okay,
I will.
We'll
James,
save
come
it.
on, yeah.
However, the highlights are now up on YouTube, so go onto our YouTube channel. How'd they get to that, Matt?
Just search The Computer Game Show on YouTube or go to youtube.com/The Computer Game Show.
Episode 1, the highlights on it. Not touching on the game, but James continues to be the best Twitch streamer of all time. I mean, I was editing that thing together and I had tears in my eyes where I was laughing so hard at some points.
Yeah, I was away with work on that evening, but I watched it from my hotel room on my phone, and it was amazing, James. And I text some people from work saying you're the best streamer.
Still don't get this.
What's brilliant is that Matt has spent so much time, money, and effort trying to get our Twitch stream looking good, trying to get ideas on what to play for Twitch. James absolutely smashed his viewing figures, and he was streaming straight from his PS4.
Yes.
He's just pressed one button on his controller and he was away. All of a sudden,
innit?
he had the biggest audience we've ever had. It was beautiful. Right, okay, let's go to the news. News.
Okay, we got some news. I thought we'd start off with something which is, well, it's been a bit of a quiet week, but there's been some big news for Nintendo because their shares are currently at a 9-year high.
Oh my god. Okay. Right. Next.
That's good though, isn't it? This is really good news.
So 9 years ago, what that was 2008. So was that at the height of Wii? No.
That was 2008.
That would have been. It's pre Wii U, isn't it? Before the.
It's about 3 years into the Wii, right? When it
so
sort of completely crashed.
and all that sort of stuff was
Wow.
coming out, and it was all going mad. And then,
It's
James-
even after that, isn't it?
As our resident financial expert, how high are these shares compared to the height of the Wii?
they're high.
Sorry, what?
Say that again,
Sorry,
James.
how
they're high.
close are they?
They're high, but I don't know how high. I've not checked
I
it.
thought you were the
but,
financial expert.
No. I just take a casual interest.
Well, can you check it for next week?
Does that casual interest mean you read the headlines?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, cool. Next news article. Next headline.
This is the next headline. So Microsoft does a U-turn on loot boxes in Forza 7.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally
Okay.
the headline.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Let's hear the story. Let's go.
Okay, so basically what's happened here is that the game
Here we go.
has loot boxes, and
Oh,
before it didn't. So before, if you bought the VIP edition, then it still had loot boxes, but you got tokens that were like unlimited. But now they're like limited tokens that you get for doing stuff. So the example that I read was it said that if you're a VIP before, then you got a 100% increase in credits earned from each race. Okay,
Right.
whereas now. And that was like infinite. That just like went on forever because you were a VIP and you spent loads of money. But now that's gone, and you only get them for like a certain. They're like consumable ones that only last for a limited number of races. And so the reason that people were annoyed about this is because they paid for like the VIP version of the game, and apparently Microsoft hadn't made this really clear. Like when people bought this, that this is how the game had changed, and people just assumed it would be the same as in Forza 5 and Forza 6, but it's not. And so people were kind of angry about this. And there was
Right.
a lot of complaining.
Okay. And they've complained and they've reversed it, have they?
Yes, yeah, they have. They've made changes to it, and they've also made it more explicitly clear in the store, like what it is about.
And they're bringing back the normal. Are they bringing back the normal VIPs thing?
I think
they
so.
are. I read that.
Yeah.
Are you thinking? Have you read the story? Does it
I've
say
read the
that in
story, but it wasn't entirely clear.
Right.
if
No,
that's what they've done.
that's not quite true, James. It's very clear that there's a line in it. It's very clear. Even more,
Well, go on.
this is
James, for fuck's
there's a
sake!
line in this thing. Even more significantly, we will be changing VIP rewards in Forza Motorsport 7. This new system will work like it did in Forza Motorsport 6, offering a 2 times base credit bonus after every race.
There you go.
No,
It's
not
fine.
there you go. James, read the fucking story, please. Come on. You're supposed to be doing the news.
It wasn't that interesting, to be honest, but there's not much has happened.
So why is it in the show?
Because not much has happened this week. It's been really quiet.
What do you think of that? What do you think of the news of them doing the U-turn? Have you got any take on it? What do you think?
I think loot boxes suck, but we've already talked about that before, and you disagree with me.
No, I didn't say I disagree with you. I just... this is another one of those things. So we had a big argument today. What was it over? It was
over loot
Jim
boxes.
Sterling's video.
Yeah.
Jim Sterling's latest video. And I'll be honest, I've never minded Jim Sterling, but recently, I can't remember the last time I've properly agreed with him. Like, that's the thing. I can't remember the last time where I kind of thought, yeah, no, you're bang on there, Jim, you smashed it. Like, I think the last time was when he was talking about We Happy Few and the problems with that game. Right? I thought, yeah, no, I agree with that. That's bang on. But recently, it's just been stuff that I can't relate to. There's a few points that he made in it. What was the name of that video that you posted up, James?
Which one? What the Jim
The
Sterling
title,
one?
the one that you posted up today.
I don't know, not off the top of my head.
Excellent. Fucking hell.
How can I? How am I supposed to remember the exact title of like something like that? This was ages ago.
You posted it. It was today, and you posted it in the group today.
Okay. It's the $60 myth. That was what it was
Right.
called.
The $60 myth. And the whole idea of the video is that people say, well, it's good that games are still $60. But to be fair, they're not. Because you buy them these days, there's different tiers of the game that you can buy. Some have the expansion pass and stuff like that. And there was just a lot of stuff in there that I just could not get on board with. One of the things he was saying that games are too expensive to make. I didn't ask for them to be this expensive to make, so you know, it's your fault that they're expensive. I don't get that argument whatsoever. One of the examples he gave was that the voice actor Nico Bellic didn't see anything from the success of GTA 4. And I just kind of think, okay, but what job? I mean, he signed up for a job with a certain salary, right? And he's taken salary and he's done the job. Why is he entitled to more after that?
Well, I mean, this goes into a much wider thing. Obviously, up until about a month or so ago, there was a voice actors strike, wasn't there? Like for months and months, because the Voice Actors Guild or this union of voice actors wanted those sorts of rewards based on a success of a game rather than just a one-time payment. They wanted that sort of thing. I don't think they quite got that, and now I think the strike is off, but there was some compromise somewhere. But yeah, the whole...
So what do you think? Well, Matt, do you think that that's just a normal thing? Because if you, like, helped a company make a lot of money with your advertising or whatever you do, like, do you get a piece of that pie?
I mean, of course, I don't know, but and no, I mean,
if I do a great big building that people love, and someone makes a lot of money out of it, I don't see a fucking penny of that. So I'm not quite with.
It
that
depends
argument.
on whatever you've signed, doesn't it? For that, if you've just signed off to just do it, then I agree with you with that. But it depends on, you know, whether you said that you were going to get like residuals or whatever from it, and in that case,
I'm assuming that's the point. They're not offered residuals.
Yeah.
So anyway, that isn't the main topic.
I agree with you about that, and also what he said about like the stuff about the like season passes and expansions and stuff like that. I don't really. I agree with you about that. I don't see the massive problem with that kind of thing. But the loot boxes, I do, and I still think that they're wrong, and it's not good that they exist for gaming in general.
So, one of the things you said to me is that, are you okay with loot boxes?
Yeah.
And my reply was, I'm not so much okay with them, it's just they haven't personally affected me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my god, it's got loot boxes, what a disgrace. Because the games that I've... Hold on, listen, let me finish my sentence. Because the games that I've played that do have loot boxes, it hasn't bothered me in the slightest.
Yeah, but you can say that something doesn't affect you, but you can still have an opinion on it. You don't just have to be like, "Oh, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care." Like,
it's got to be based on some sort of experience and context, though, right? You can't just say loot boxes are bad. End.
But you have got experience and context though, because you played mobile games, yeah. And like loads of mobile games have that kind of stuff in them. And
right, so I don't
are you
play
telling
them.
me that it's like improved? You know, it doesn't improve the game, does it?
No, but I don't play them. That's it. I go, oh, this is trying to get money out of me. I'm not going to play.
Yeah, but the problem is, yeah, it's all very well to say, yeah, I don't play them, which is fair enough. But then the problem with it, David, is that what it means that as this sort of model becomes more and more successful, game developers rework their games so that they support this model, which means that over time all games are going to be infected by this. And then this is not, I mean, overall that's not going to be a good thing for gaming if it's like this. I don't want all of the games I've got that I own to have loot boxes in them.
See, I don't agree that would happen. I genuinely don't agree that will happen.
But it has happened. If you look at maybe
all games that you own have loot boxes, is it?
No, but if you look at iOS, and look at how many games like that get released on mobile, how many of those games are free to play?
Right.
They're like 99% now are like free to play.
Why aren't they 99% free to play on consoles at the moment?
Because that's why this is just starting now. This is seeping into console games now. Because they figured out they can do this.
How long do you think it'll be before 99% of games on consoles are free to play?
I don't know. It depends on how successful it is.
The issue isn't that. The issue isn't free to play games can have loot boxes all they want. They've got to make money. Surely the issue you've got is more the fact that these like 60 or 80 or 90 pound games.
You're paying like 60 quid for like a game, and then you're basically also then having to pony up extra cash for this other content. Let me finish, right? The problem with the extra content is not so much that it's extra content, it's the fact that they're locked inside these loot boxes where you don't know, like, what the rates are for, like, because it's basically gambling when you do this. You get one of these boxes, you don't even know what's in it, and maybe you'll get something, maybe you won't. But if you buy, downloadable content, you know exactly what you're getting. You buy it and it's yours. With this, it's totally just gambling. And I don't see how that's a good thing.
So, I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is that I can't sit there and go, oh, fucking loot boxes, they ruined this and that for me. At the moment, they've ruined nothing for me.
Yeah. But then,
So the games that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head are Rocket League, say Destiny 2, Overwatch. They've all got loot boxes in them, and they've not affected me in the slightest. So what my point is this: I cannot sit there and get outraged by something that isn't outraged, like is not pissing me off yet.
I know.
Maybe it will do in the future.
That. But you see, I understand that.
But you seem angry that I'm not outraged by something that's not pissed me off.
I'm angry that you don't care, like about something which could ultimately affect us in the future. I'm angry that you don't.
I don't care.
Well, it is. You just said you don't care.
Did I?
Yeah, you've said repeatedly you don't care because it hasn't affected you.
No, I'm saying I can't get outraged by it because it hasn't affected me.
Right, yeah, but I'm not saying that I'm outraged about this. I'm saying that I think this is a dangerous precedent, like what's happening with this. And that I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for games that this is happening. Particularly for full price stuff.
One of the biggest problems with this, right, is that in terms of game consumers and players and people that buy these things, they've got no fucking backbone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if this was not profitable, it wouldn't work. People wouldn't do it. So why are people doing it? Why are people buying these loot crates? Are you saying that they're all being manipulated with gambling?
Yeah, they are.
Sort of addiction.
It's totally gambling addiction. That's what they do. That's why they do that whole thing where, like, if you open one of them, it doesn't just immediately show you, like, all what's inside. They do it, like, one at a time, like, really slowly to try and build up the tension.
Oh,
the whole thing's, like, totally based on it.
Exactly.
The whole thing's totally based on that.
See, because I've always found the whole gambling... Like, gambling's fun. Straight up, gambling is fun. There's no getting around that. It's a fun thing to do. Obviously, I don't like it when there's like money involved when you're gambling money, and I think you are right when it comes to things like you're paying for something but don't know what you're getting. That doesn't sit right with me. But that's not been my experience that's not been my personal experience. So it's hard to properly kick off about it until I experience it myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
because what I try and do is totally avoid this whole knee-jerk screaming. And sometimes that means holding back on something that would usually piss me right off, but and trying to look at it from a different perspective.
So what it is that I'm concerned about with this is that if you look... Do you remember when the iPhone first came out and we had the App Store and it was pretty good for like the first couple of years? Yeah, there was always new stuff to download. It was interesting, the stuff that was coming out.
There was an app that made you look like you're drinking a pint of beer. There was fart apps.
Yeah, that was great.
Age.
Yeah, but okay, but compare it to now though. When it's like how many games have you downloaded like on mobile over the last 2 years?
Well, hardly any, but
exactly but then before when there was new stuff all the time, but free to play has totally killed like mobile games.
It has, but I think it's a slightly different market.
Maybe, but then I think what's happening here is that I think that these massive companies, they've seen this and they want in on it, and they also want to keep the £60 that they're charging for the game, and they want to charge more on top of it through these other mechanics.
Then that argument doesn't work, then, doesn't it? Because they want to keep the £60 that they make for the game, right? Yep. And then they want to charge you, but then you're going back to it's still £60. You know, when it hasn't taken inflation into account and stuff like that.
And as that video said, I mean, game budgets are getting bigger, they're getting more expensive. £60 covered it maybe a few years ago. I don't think it's not going to cover it now. Where so many more games are, they're games as a service. They need, constant online servers, obviously, but also new content online to keep people playing the game.
So find another way to do it rather than through loot crates. Which is just, the reason that I have a problem with them is because also one is the gambling. Like the gambling is an issue because it's the thing is, right, if you go and like gamble in like slot machines or whatever, or if you like gamble on football or whatever like that, that's regulated. Like it's regulated by the government, with the way that works. This stuff is completely unregulated, and it is also. I don't want to like say they're targeting kids or whatever, but there's no controls there at all, and that's not right. The way that works. I've got no problem with them charging for like extra content and stuff like that. what I do have a problem with, though, is the gambling aspect of the loot crate, and I just think it's a cynical, like, horrible mechanic, which is like seeping into these games, and I just rather it didn't exist.
I think that's very fair. I think what you're saying there is very fair. That's not what the video was about, though.
No, it wasn't. No, not entirely. Anyway,
the video was it was a little bit all over the place and a little bit snarky. I don't know. It was weird. It was, I remember watching Jim Sterling's videos and nodding my head a lot. And these days, it just seems like, there's been articles written about how he has to get outraged at certain things. Like when he used to get outraged before, it was clearly on a subject that he was passionate and angry about and stuff. But now, because he's on Patreon, it feels like maybe he's sort of forcing this outrage to make sure that he hits the notes that like the things that he's promised for his people that pay for his content and stuff. I'm not convinced by that. I don't know how true that is. But I don't know, man. Is it like sometimes it just kind of feels that what are you even going for here? And that video was definitely one of them. I just could not get on board with it. He was all over the place and talking about stuff that I just fundamentally didn't agree with. Yeah, weird one. Anyway, fine. Where were we? News.
Yeah, we were on. Yeah, okay. Shall we move on to the next bit? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. The Game Boy Classic Mini.
Yeah. So I did this Retro Asylum podcast, and we were talking about where they're going next, and now that the SNES Mini's out there, and Paul from that podcast said, "Well, it's going to be the Game Boy Mini then, surely." And lo and behold, they've registered the name, have they?
They've registered the name Game Boy, yeah.
James quickly reading through the article as I'm looking at it.
The headline doesn't give enough information.
If they're going to release one a year, we're only a few years away from the Switch Mini, aren't we? This is. Do you think this is getting? Yeah, the official. But then what are they going to do? We're going to get a mini version of the console that ain't even out yet. What's going on? I don't. It's a bit much. Is it a bit much?
Some of these will work, but do you reckon they'll go for like an N64 Mini? Because a lot of those games will look dreadful. Like they haven't aged well, have they? Let's be honest.
Well, this is the other thing we were talking about. The N64 Mini. The problem with that is when that's the first console where third-party software really defined the console for Nintendo. You look at the NES, you look at the SNES. The big hitters on that are Nintendo games, right? There were others, but the big hitters on that were Nintendo games. You look at the N64. Big hitters in that.
Super NES had tons of third-party games. That was the
I'm
big
not
thing.
Denying that. I'm not denying that. But when you think
more
SNES,
third-party support than the N64 did.
But when you think SNES, what are the main games that you think about on that console?
On the Super NES.
You're talking like Mario World, and you're talking about
Mario
the games
Kart.
that run there, the Zelda games, Mario Kart, stuff like that. When you look at the N64. Rare were a huge part of that console. A huge part. GoldenEye is probably top of the list. That ain't going to be on there. That would be missing big time from that console. There's a lot of stuff on that and the GameCube. Was it the GameCube? Yeah, because they would probably have Monkey Ball on, right? They could probably cut a deal with Sega at this point for Monkey Ball on the GameCube. But I think with the N64, there was Rare were a huge part of that console, and to chop it out would seem weird. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to stop them trying it though.
But going back to the Game Boy, what do you think of this? Because I'd be quite interested in this because the Game Boy was one of the first consoles I owned, and I loved it. What do you think? Did you have one, Dave?
Yeah, I did. I had a Game Boy and then a Game Boy Color. I can't go back and play Game Boy games again.
Really?
They looked terrible. Tetris is probably one that I would, but the games didn't look great, did they?
They didn't look good. Well, not all of them looked that great, but there was still some of them were pretty good. There were some good games on there. There was
what would you want on there? What would be your hit list?
Link's Awakening, definitely, because it was really good.
It was
Gargoyle's
good.
Quest. That was really very good. What else? Probotector, or Contra as it was, that was good. What else do I think of?
Struggling.
The Mario Land games were good.
Oh yeah, they were
on that. And Mario games were pretty good. Batman, the Sunsoft one, that's a fantastic game.
I remember playing a Bugs Bunny game. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think the only way I would be interested in this is if the problem is they'll massively overprice it. Do you think they will
the same
release?
price as the others, surely.
No. I'm not talking about the console. Do you think they will release basically the software that you find in a Game Boy Mini and just release that so you can buy it on the Switch?
What?
So you got the Game Boy Mini, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can buy basically the Game Boy Mini, so you know the emulation software plus all of the games that's on that thing, but for the Switch.
Not in a million years.
David, what you've just described is the Virtual Console.
Pretty much, yeah. But what I'm thinking is that Nintendo are going to ask people to buy a portable console. I don't know, if you're going to be carrying around a machine that plays Nintendo games, are you really going to spend 70 odd quid?
This is what I've been saying about the Virtual Console. This is why these other things shouldn't exist either. There should just be a Virtual Console on the Switch.
Yeah, but
if they did that, James, they're not going to be selling out of these 70 quid machines, are they?
That's true. Yeah.
They're not stupid.
I don't get this. I really, really don't understand this. And when I brought this up on Retro Asylum, they were saying, well, it's a collector's item rather than anyone's actually going to be playing on these things. Is it though?
I mean, I don't think so. But
I mean,
I
saw one in CEX, and it just looked. I mean, CEX, they had a SNES Mini sitting on top of a SNES. And the SNES was a lot cheaper than the SNES Mini. I just thought they were selling the SNES Mini for £140. And the SNES was like, 30 quid or whatever. I'd rather have that on my shelf, like a proper SNES.
Yeah, bloody big shelf.
Because I'm assuming that little flap at the top doesn't open on a SNES Mini, right? That would be pointless to have that.
The little flap on the front opens, and that's where you plug in the pads.
No. On the top where the cartridge goes.
No, I don't think so.
Because it just looked shit. I'm being totally honest. It just looked shit. I don't know. I will never understand that. I love Nintendo. I love them. I don't need a SNES Mini. I don't understand why people are... someone like Nintendo release this stuff. I get why people buy it because they're huge fans of Nintendo. Fine. But I did not expect it to be this popular.
Yeah, but that's because you don't care about retro games at all, do you, though? Like, really?
No, in the
and yet he was on the Retro Asylum podcast.
I know, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I know, I brought that up, don't worry about it. Yeah, but as you say, I mean, you could buy... Are there any games on this other than Star Fox 2? Is it Star Fox 2?
Yeah.
Is there any games on that you can't readily get anywhere else? Like, are most of these games on the 3DS, or what's the deal, James?
Yeah, well, no, not on the 3DS. I mean, because they did add like a Super NES to it. Like you download it if you had the new 3DS. But the Wii U had a lot of these. But the Wii, like we just talked about the Wii eShop being shut down, but that had like pretty much everything like on there. That was it was really well covered.
It's just weird. And the fact that you can't expand it, like, wouldn't it have been cooler if it wouldn't have been cooler if it literally had a slot in the top that you could put the old. Like, I would understand it if that was an option. If there was the emulation stuff, all the stuff built in, but also there was a slot that would take SNES cartridges.
Yeah, because I think that's really useful, isn't it, for all the people who've got them hanging around.
No, but Matt, you go into most shops and you can buy them now. Like most game shops.
Yeah, but also then it wouldn't be a Mini, would it? Because you'd never be able to fit one of the cartridges in it.
And they've got like get things to make sure that they've got tech to have old cartridges working in their new little machine.
It makes more sense than just having a closed off system that only takes 40 odd games. Ones
20
that you can't pick yourself. Oh my god,
21, I think.
What I'm trying to get across is I don't understand why these things are so popular, and that would possibly be a way to make me go, oh right, I see, I get it. I get why people would buy that now. They can find like a cartridge somewhere in a CEX and buy it and actually use it.
I mean, I bet Nintendo are kicking themselves. They're like, bloody hell, like we could have sold a few of these if we hadn't.
I'm not saying I'm saying that it's sold well.
Oh my god!
But what, Matt? I'm not saying it's a disaster. It's clearly sold well. What I'm saying is that I don't understand it. I do not understand it.
I can't wrap my head around it. It's another thing which doesn't personally affect you, so you can't understand it.
Well, okay, James, explain to me, why is this popular? Explain why the SNES Mini is
it's
this
popular because of the nostalgia. That's why.
No. That covers a certain amount, but these things are selling by the shed load.
Yeah.
Why is it that popular?
It's the nostalgia, and also, like they said on Retro Asylum, it is like the people think it's like a collecting thing as well. Like, there's people that just love collecting everything that's related to Nintendo.
I know. I thought that would be a certain amount of buzz over that.
That's why I
didn't think it would be this big.
I was furious like about a year or so ago, because they have that like Nintendo, like Club Nintendo they had before, and you could like get items if you bought loads of games from them, and they used to like send you like you could like trade in your stars for like whatever. And so I traded in my stars, and I got a Yoshi backpack, which looked amazing. It was really good, and I kept it, and I thought I'm probably not going to use this because it's shaped like a giant egg. And
probably
stupid.
Probably not going to use it. How likely are you to? Oh yeah, you should go to EGX wearing that thing, James.
Yeah, busted into uni with a Yoshi backpack.
Hey guys,
screaming X.
Last week I was on to X-Bone. Well, check out my Yoshi bag.
It's a new week. It's a new theme with James with Dr. Farley. Why is Dr. Farley?
I say Yoshi, not Yoshi.
So anyway. So I got this backpack, and so I was thinking I'm probably just going to get rid of this because after a while, you know what Nintendo fans are like. Probably I can get money for this, like ultimately over time. I mean, you remember when we went to that Switch event and there was people selling those online, like the those like cards that we got from it, which was ridiculous. So I was going to sell it. I thought that's fine, and then about a year ago, Rachel was going to like some event or something, and I was like, oh, she needs a bag. And Chen was like, yeah, it's okay, we got this one. And she got the Yoshi bag, and she'd written Rachel's name in it in black marker pen. Like,
James, James, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
What's your age? How old are you? How old are you?
Past 30. But, it's, yeah.
What, were you genuinely upset by that?
No, I wasn't genuinely upset. I was just like, I was going to sell that, and now I can't, because no one's going to buy that with
James
her
is
name
probably
written
more
in it.
miffed, but the fact that Chen had gone into his glass cabinet. It's like, but the bag, Chen. Oh, it's got Rachel's name in it now. It's ruined. It's worthless.
It'd been keeping his porn in the bag.
Yeah, it's like
it's just proud that Chen hadn't
James's
opened it up.
Giant egg bag, his amiibo, and his tentacle stuff.
James, mate,
anyway,
come on. That's fine. If Joe had done that with like that, that wouldn't have second thought. A bag with like in the shape of an egg. Come on, mate. Let that one go.
Wrapper, wasn't it? It's like,
I don't get it. What? Any other news?
That's it. Oh no! One other piece of news was Sean's baby.
Sean has joined the club, and we've already. We won't discuss what the story was, but Sean sent us a rather frustrated dad story today, and I punched the air. I was like, "Yes, this is it. He's in. This is where it starts."
Yeah, the banging story about 12 hours into the birth of his new child. But yeah, congratulations, Sean.
I know. Congratulations, Sean.
Yes.
Isaac Bell is in the world, and he's going to take over. This is it. We've got a podcast. Well, we've got 5-a-side team. Right?
All of our kids. We've all got kids now. So like, when we're old, they can do a podcast, and then
Yeah, but there's too many.
Oh
God, who's getting left out? Because I mean, it's a 4-man show.
Well, we'll have one from each of us.
I can drop one of mine. It's fine.
What?
James.
Which one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Rachel's more interested in games, so probably Asher.
Oh, mate.
At that point, James,
Asher.
you were going to say, "I can't choose between my children."
Can I just leave a little message? Yeah. Happy 21st birthday, Asher. I've sent you this podcast so that you can listen to it and hear what your dad really thinks of you.
Asher is basically playing. He's listening to this as he's about to play in the Esports World Championship. He's like,
yeah.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. I don't believe he's got what it takes to do that.
It gets worse. Asher, don't worry, mate. You can win Dota 7. You can win the final. Go on. This is like a film. Just hearing like his dad's like podcast from 15 years ago.
And also, Asher, I know you think it's your 21st birthday. Make sure you get a copy of your birth certificate because James has probably fucking lied to you throughout your time on Earth. Which brings us nicely on to what you've been playing. James, let's talk about your playthrough of Beyond Two Souls, in which you forgot the age of your daughter.
That was only brief. That was like just a brief. I don't know what happened there. It was because it was because
Dad of the year.
No, because I don't know what's going on with that. I just forget sometimes some of these things.
You don't know what's going on with that? What do you mean with that?
No. This terrible thing that happens, right? Do you know? You see, you probably don't have this, but I do. Where when you have to call the doctor and you have to like make an appointment for them, and I can never remember the birthday like exactly. Is the problem.
I am bad with that. I am bad with that.
Yeah, it's I often just can't remember exactly which day it is.
I remember how old they are, though, James.
Yeah. He doesn't get it wrong by 2 years.
I just forget. I mean, because we had our 9 years anniversary.
Was it 9? Or was it 8?
Yeah, it was definitely 9. Like we both totally forgot, so it was fine. I didn't get in trouble for that one. Yeah.
You forgot it was your 9-year anniversary?
Yeah. And so did Chen, though, so it's fine. I didn't get in trouble.
When did you work out? What did you find out after the fact?
Yeah, one of you wasn't worked out first.
A couple of days later, I looked at my phone and was like, "Oh, it's it's like 4th of October."
James, did you keep it quiet? Like, well, Chen hasn't said anything. I doubt to get a present.
I did say, we've forgotten the anniversary. And she was like, yeah, next year we'll do something better. It's 10 years.
Oh, so, mate, you have totally misread that situation. She knew.
She's devastated.
She knew.
She wanted an eternity ring, James. You're like, hey, so we forgot. She's like, yep, we forgot.
What the fuck is that with eternity rings? Joe's asked me for one of those like 3 times. We've not been married 5 years yet. Can I have an eternity ring?
What's the point of them?
Hold on. I don't get can I have an eternity ring? We've only 5 years. Let's just make sure we're in it for eternity. Let's not jump to that already.
Let's wait 50 years.
No, that's why you're like eternity. I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, exactly. I said till death do we part.
Yeah, I thought we released from this at some point.
So Beyond Two Souls, what did you think, James? You've played about an hour's worth.
I don't know what I think of it, to be honest, at the moment. It's a bit... The thing with it is, right, I'm still not sure what to make of it. There's all the cage stuff is already there. Like,
the cage stuff?
Like, the really... Just like... No, the really weird tone shifts that the game has. That Heavy Rain had the same sort of stuff, whereby things seem kind of okay, and then suddenly they just go crazy. But there's very little sort of build up to it, and it's a bit odd. And that's built. There's also the bad dialogue as well. I mean, that's a given because it's.
What bad dialogue? What stuck out for you?
The party. The party was awful, David.
The party scene was incredible, James.
The party, the whole of that was just dreadful. Like, really, really bad.
Why? You can't just say it's dreadful. What didn't you like about it?
I didn't like the whole sort of like, they're being, just the teenagers being mean to each other. They just like turned on her so quickly for like there didn't seem to be any sort of reason for it.
James,
it was just...
As soon as the party started, you're like, can I kill them all?
No. The party started, you smoked weed, drank 2 beers underage, and I mean, you made a show of yourself.
I wanted to see what would happen. I wanted to see what would happen with that, because I just wanted...
Can I burn them all? James asked the chat.
Yeah, that was after they'd been mean. After they'd been really horrible to everyone.
No, that was a title credits.
That was before you loaded it up. No, you said that before they were mean.
No, I didn't. I'm sure I didn't.
Go back and watch it. We got it on tape.
Yeah.
Got it all on tape, Lid.
VHS. Back up.
But,
VHS.
I don't feel gripped by it yet, which is the problem, because the narrative obviously is told in this sort of non-linear way, so it feels even less coherent than the start of Heavy Rain. And so, I don't know, I guess I'm hoping that things are going to become clearer the longer I play, although, is that the case or not, David?
James, I've told you several times I thought this game was terrible. When you say I don't... What did you say? You didn't feel invested in it or whatever?
Yeah.
I didn't feel invested in it whatsoever throughout the whole playthrough. It's awful. It's awful. I really, really didn't
James,
like that
we
game.
never asked you to play this game. We don't even know why you're doing it.
Yeah, why are you doing it?
We never mentioned it once. You were like, I've got to play the stream.
I never said that, at any point.
Why isn't this out on the X-Boon? I would say, just give it a go, at least, because... I mean, to be fair, the ending I thought was pretty good. I thought the last hour or so was the best part of that game. But my God, you have got a lot of shit to get through. A lot of shit.
James, how invested in Heavy Rain were you? I mean, no, at what point did you think, okay, I'm invested now? Because for my memory, most of that game, you were just trying to fail the challenges and go through the coward door.
That's true.
So at what point?
Actually, I think it was after that I started to become a bit more invested. I think it was the stuff, like when you're in that building site and there's the whole sort of flashback to Scott Shelby as a kid and all that. And I started to get a bit more invested in it. And then there was that whole thing in that clock repair place where he looked really guilty, and that was really funny.
James, you liked that game. You're trying to give it the big one. You did like Heavy Rain.
Yeah, because it was really funny. It was one of the funniest games I've ever played.
No, you were proper into it. When there was the big reveal, you proper started going, oh, right, and like getting into it and stuff.
That's true, actually, yeah, that is true.
But this, I don't think you will. I mean, it has a couple of moments, but one of my favourite moments in that game was the party scene. So I think if you're not in at that point, I don't think you will be in.
I don't think it matters if James is emotionally invested or not. There's still going to be a lot of good moments. That one stream we've had already had multiple incredible moments. So
just weird moments where he just goes, "I'm controlling a child." That was it. Yeah, you've got to watch that stream. If you're not on it, get on it.
She might be psychic, but she can't
subscribe
draw.
and all that. Yeah, it's just full of great. But it is definitely Alan Partridge playing computer games. That's what I like about it. Right. Okay. Cool. So when are you playing it next?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, maybe Wednesday again. Maybe
Wednesday again. Okay. Everyone, look forward to maybe Wednesday again.
I'll tweet about it. Maybe.
Maybe tweet about it. He maybe tweet about it. Maybe this Wednesday again.
There was that whole other problem with it as well, where I didn't have the game installed either, which was a bit of a nuisance.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I'd forgotten.
I mean, that was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. I mean, we said to you, you said, first thing you said when we said, why the fuck haven't you got it installed? You're 15 minutes away from starting this stream. You said, I wasn't even going to play it tonight. You bullied me into it. No, you were going to play it the night before, James. The night before. Why can't you get that shit together?
I know, but I hadn't planned. I don't know, whatever. I hadn't planned to do it, and then it just you kept going on about it on the show, you got to play it, play it.
But you had planned to do it. You brought it up last week and said, I'm going to start it on Tuesday.
Not specifically at that point, though. I just thought sometime that week
the day before.
I might give it a
That's
go.
when you were planning to do it. The day before.
Well, either way...
Disaster was averted in the end.
Yeah, it was okay. It did work out.
It was okay.
It's fully installed now, so that's fine.
Good.
Thank God.
All right, get on that Wednesday.
Yeah,
cool. What else have you been playing?
So, the other thing I've been playing is FIFA 18.
Oh, okay. Well, last week you were positive on it.
Well, you see, the trouble is as I said to you before, privately, I am part of the problem because I don't own the Switch version anymore.
Right,
so
and we told you to save it because I can't wait to hear why.
James? You've sold the Switch version?
So anyway, I traded the Switch version for the PS4 version.
Firstly, how did you do that? I always find that really hard to do because when you're trying to trade something in, you get fuck all for it, or at least less than what. Did you have to bump up the price a little bit?
No, I did. Because I bought it from Amazon, so I just did a refund from Amazon and got the money back,
right.
And then I had to pay about an extra $5 or something. And
so come on then, how did you build to the decision of getting rid of it and trading it in for the PS4?
To be honest, primarily it was about the controller. This was the big problem because I found the Joy-Cons to be really uncomfortable, for playing like a football game, for extended play sessions. I just found it. I really didn't like it. It was really beginning to hurt my hands. And then also there was that, and there was also the slight sluggishness as well of it that was kind of irritating me. See, the problem is that the PS4 version, even on because I haven't got the Pro or anything, does also looks significantly better. And I know that sounds really shallow and awful, but there's no sluggishness to it at all. And it just feels nicer. And then when I was playing because I downloaded the demo and tried it and I was like, actually, this is nicer. And then I had this whole thing, when I went back to the Switch version, I was just sitting there just thinking, this is basically an inferior version of a game that I've been playing on the PS4, which is better. And even though...
Better in what ways, though? You said that the single player was pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, the single player, there's not really any difference, although obviously the PS4 version's got the journey, Hunter Returns.
Have you been playing that?
I have actually. I just started playing
Has it been an improvement over the last one? Is it constantly making you do the training missions again?
Yes, you still have to do. There's still training before every match, which is a bit irritating. But but so it's got that. But it's also, I mean, even though I slagged it off last week, like it has got like the full range of online as well that the Switch version doesn't have.
At least there's a man justifying his purchase now.
So no, it is nice to know the options there if I want it. I can still.
But James, last week you said it doesn't matter because you never play that. You're not even bothered about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Why are you suddenly bothered now?
If I want to, no, I'm not bothered. If I want to though, I can still play it though. Which is the thing.
But you never do.
No. But it doesn't matter, Dave, because even if it doesn't matter, because if it works, that's enough for James.
See, basically the thing is, right, I'm a massive hypocrite with this, but it could have been better. I mean, definitely the game would have been better with a Pro Controller, but I can't afford £70 right now to find that out. So I bought the PS4 version instead.
Right.
A lot of it is about the control, seriously. It really is like quite uncomfortable after
But
long
don't
periods
you
of time.
miss being able to play it whenever you want?
Not I mean, I do, yeah. I mean, but then also I still play it on Remote Play over Vita, which also is also ridiculous because the controllers on that are smaller. But they're still
hang on.
They're still more comfortable. They're still more comfortable.
Hang on.
They're still no. Shut up. Listen, they're still more comfortable though than the Switch one is.
What, using back touch?
No, you don't use back touch. You set it up so you don't do that. I'm not a crazy person.
What, you use auto run and stuff?
No, I set up like a custom controls. So I use the what's it called, the shoulder buttons. You change them like so that it's like R2 is R1 and L2 is L1, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you're missing several buttons, aren't you? You're missing. Yeah. So what? I'm confused. So what are you missing out? What have you? He's
dropped pass and he's dropped shoot.
He must be playing as Palace then.
I guess we've done lots of passing.
How do you think about that, Matt? Do you think it's going to have success against Chelsea on the weekend?
I think we'll definitely get our first goal on the weekend, yeah. I'd love it. I'd bloody love it if we get a goal against you. I'd bloody love it.
Come on. So, what are you missing? What have you dropped from the play to play it on Vita? Like, what mechanics are you missing?
I'm just trying to think. Well, okay, if you press L1 or R1 on the controller, like in general, what is it doing for you? I've forgotten.
Well, yeah, you've got close control, change player.
Okay, so run. Close control. I don't have close control. That's
don't have
gone.
Close control,
but you do have select player. But select player is still there.
Finesse shots and lobs.
No, there's no finesse shots. So
you can't lob the keeper.
No. You can't do that.
Sounds like you're playing a much inferior game than the Switch
version.
No,
this is the thing. I know, but I'm not playing it like this all the time. This is only just like once in a while. But most of the time, I'm playing it on TV.
Smaller screen. You can't lob the keeper.
No finesse.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm playing it mostly on the TV.
That's the problem with James Farley. He's got no finesse, has he?
No.
That fella. He has zero
can't
finesse.
lob for shit.
James, I just find this weird. I thought the Nintendo Switch version, I mean, you've basically swapped it just so it's got a little bit better graphics.
Basically, yeah. No, it's the graphics, but also it is the controls as well. It feels nicer with the PS4 pad. That's the main reason.
That's fair, I guess. I mean, yeah.
I really thought Nintendo Switch plus FIFA, that's the perfect Farley game.
Yeah, I know, it's nuts.
Sorry.
Sorry, you do what you want, James.
Visa me.
Is that it? Is that all you've got for us?
No, I've also got Stardew Valley, but I think Matt wants to go on about this.
Well, let's go straight to that. Matt, yeah. Stardew Valley.
I've been playing Stardew Valley.
No shit.
What's that?
No shit.
Yeah, it's good. So I've only played about 2 to 3 hours. So actually, I think James probably played way more of it than I have at this point. This game obviously came on PC. It's made by one guy. It took him 5 years. Blah blah blah. It's an indie game. So look, we are picking up the mantle from Sean. It's an indie game.
It's true. It is true. Go on.
Yeah. So it's I mean, James, you probably have a better way of explaining it than I do. Frankly, you've probably played a lot more of it.
Yeah, it's Harvest Moon. Is basically. That's all you need to know. It's a farming game where you basically have to sort of rebuild a farm, build relationships with people, and do quests. That's basically how the game works. Yeah,
it looks a bit like Harvest Moon. It's got sort of a camera, a camera above the play arena, but above the world where it's really lovely pixel art. And yeah, I've probably like 3 hours in. I haven't really talked to many of the villagers. The good thing about a game, at least what I've read and certainly what I've seen so far, is you don't have to do anything really. You don't have to farm. You could just fish and make your money. You could ignore fishing and farming and just go in the mines and make money that way. But essentially there's loads of villagers to meet that you can make money, and then you buy like seeds and crops to make more money. You can sell those back to the shop. You can go on various little quests and challenges. As James said, it feels like there's loads of really complex relationships you can make with any one of the 30 odd, I think, people around the village. Yeah, I've only played it 3 hours, but it's all I've been thinking about today. I just want to go back, check out my crop, water them, go to bed, come back. The good thing about this compared to, say, Animal Crossing is that it's not in real time. You could not play this for a day or two and you're not going to be worried about, infestation of cockroaches in your house. It's just, it doesn't, nothing happens to the game when you're not playing it, which I think is a big improvement over Animal Crossing, a game which I felt like you had to. What's that?
There you go. You're mad, but go
on. Well, no, Animal Crossing is, I loved it. I haven't obviously played it for a while. My last one I played was on the DS Lite. So, long time ago.
Really? You didn't play New Leaf?
No, I haven't got 3DS, have I? Or DS.
Oh yeah, of course not. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, it's pretty much the same
I like
game.
that, but there's also a stress of, well, okay, you got to play it every day because other things happen. This doesn't have that. Obviously, this has only been out a few days, so it's not like I've even wanted to stop playing it. But
yeah, have you played it every day?
Well, yeah, but I've only had it like a few days. Yeah, so it's okay. So it's not in real time. Days last as long as you want them to. Really, you can basically wake up and then you can do a few things, and you can go to bed. You have like an energy meter, and obviously if you do loads of like foraging or chopping down trees or gardening, that energy meter goes down. And at one point, you'll be so tired you'll basically just conk out, and then you'll fall asleep. And then you'll get a letter from someone saying, "I found you in the mines, and I may have taken some money from your purse." If someone has, it could have been anyone. Certainly wasn't me. It was definitely you, Linus. You thieving twat. But so I've had that multiple times where I basically just run out of energy, and I've just had woken up in my own bed about 400 currency, whatever it's called, 400 coins, a bit lighter. But yeah, so days aren't like Animal Crossing where it's a certain amount of hours. You could just like do some work, go to bed, and you're on to the next day. A big part of the game, as James said, it is about growing crops. And there are for every day, but basically there's 28 days in the season, and there's like obviously spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and different crops grow in different seasons. You've probably played more than me, James, at this point. So what do you think about it? Because I've tried to get you to play the game for ages, thinking you'd love it.
It's okay. Before I begin. Okay, because I've got stuff here. But, okay.
Have you got notes, James?
I've got notes, but it's...
Yes, these are the best ones when James has notes.
Okay, before I begin, I just want to say I don't dislike this game. I like this game.
Oh, here we go.
It's a good game. There's no problem at all with this game at all. It's a good game. But there are things about it which... See, one of the reasons that I think that you think that I'd like this game is because of the Animal Crossing kind of connection. Right?
But you also like Harvest Moon, didn't you?
Not really.
Okay.
It's not really. I mean, see, the thing is, this is much more Harvest Moon than it is Animal Crossing. And there's a lot to do in it, which is a good thing. There's like a task list, and there's really like clear progression in this game. Like, as in, for like, building stuff or, sort of developing new skills and like you level up and all that kind of stuff. One of the reasons that I really like Animal Crossing games, and which is the other reason why a lot of people maybe just hate them or just, sort of dismiss them or whatever, is because they don't really have this. And it's mostly just about just being in the world and listening to stupid dialogue and having a laugh. And just, there isn't much game there at all. Like, there's not really actually that much to do in Animal Crossing games. It's all about the atmosphere that's created through, like, pretty, like, interesting scripting, through, like, as I said, ridiculously stupid, like, animals who've all got like insecurity issues and that kind of thing. But it's still like kind of interesting because of that. Stardew Valley is kind of the opposite of this because to me, it feels like it's all game. Like it's much less. You see, Chen played this over the weekend because she's like, she was a massive fan of Harvest Moon. She really liked it, and she played like quite a lot of those before. And also she liked Animal Crossing. And the main thing that she doesn't like about this so much is that she felt that this is a lot less sort of charming than Harvest Moon or the Animal Crossing games. It doesn't have that kind of style that those games have, really. Like, the characters in this, so far, I've not found to be, like, memorable at all, like, in the slightest, compared with, like, the ridiculous stuff that you get in Animal Crossing. I mean,
yeah, sorry, in terms of the characters, again, so obviously I haven't played much, but I've read a fair amount about it, and those people say that these characters do have quite long, but surprisingly complex character arcs, so they're probably not surface level stuff that you have in Animal Crossing, and they point out the charm, but I believe they do.
So,
more complex
Animal
people.
Crossing lacks the depth then, Matt, does it?
So what?
Do you think? Animal Crossing lacks the depth of this, like it.
Well, from what I gather from Stardew, yeah, there's like proper character arcs in that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's more of a grown-up game, is it? The Stardew Valley.
Yes, probably. But it's. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'd need to spend more time with it to like determine that. But from like, I don't know how long I played it for, maybe cumulatively about 5 or 6 hours, which is nothing for a game like this. It hasn't engaged me in the same way that like other games have that done. But on the other hand, it is still worth playing, and it's still really fun. It's just that it's not. If you like Animal Crossing, I don't think you'd necessarily definitely like this, because they're not really the same kind of game at all. It is a lot more like Harvest Moon, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's still good. It's just...
I will say, in terms of like quests and stuff, you can take that as fast or slow as you want. You can just ignore them and just...
You can, but you still have the fact that you've got, like, there are targets that you're supposed to meet, and also... There are like in-game things that are going to happen that you're supposed to like achieve things by a certain time so that you can do those things.
Well, say like in the example of like certain crops only growing in certain seasons, if you don't bother whatever, I haven't really done that myself yet, but if there's one you don't bother with this spring, you just have to wait till next spring. It's not like there's a one and gun.
Yeah, but there is also other events as well that happen. I mean, like there is the whole, like they foreshadow that whole thing about like your grandfather's going to come back as well.
Yeah.
Like after a certain amount of time. There are, I mean, I'm arguing about these being bad things, but they're not bad things. It's fine. It's good to have that kind of thing if that's what you want. Like if you want something which is like I don't want to say it feels like work because it's not. It's still fun, but it's still like it's a lot more focused, shall I say?
Yeah.
Whereas the Animal Crossing games are not focused at all. There's very little focus there. I mean, you can if you want to through like building civic structures and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. The whole point of it is just to exist in the world. Whereas this, it's not like that. It feels more like a game. And like I said, I'm really not criticising it for that at all. It's just they're not alike. They're really different, I think.
Anyway, I can see myself playing a lot of this, and I think it seems so perfect for Switch. I haven't played my Switch for what feels like a while, but I've sort of fallen in love with the machine again just from playing this. It looks great. There's a bit of a sound bug at the moment where like the audio's like sort of scratching or sounds a bit staticky, but that's a bug. They're going to fix that. But yeah, I'm loving it, and I'm loving it so far. But it's only like $10.99 as well. I wanted to play it anyway, but when I saw the price, I was like, for 11 quid, I'm definitely going to try it. And thankfully, I like it.
For 11 quid, it's definitely worth a go. And also, it's so far. I mean, to me, it feels better on Switch than it did on PlayStation because of the handheld mode. Because I tried playing it through Remote Play on Vita, but it wasn't that great because the font sizes are like really too small. It was like really difficult to read. Whereas, on Switch, it's a lot better.
Oh, this is out on PS4?
Yeah, it's out on all platforms.
Ages.
Oh, right. Oh, cool. So that means that, James, you'll be trading it in for the PS4 version soon enough,
I already own it, Dave. I can't do
that. Okay, cool. Anything else to say about Stardew Valley, Matt?
No, just that I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving playing a game on Switch, and hope this time next week I would have played way more of it, so I have hopefully a bit more of a world.
Yeah, I want to hear your stories of what's happened in it.
Yeah, because
it seems like a little bit too early.
When I heard people talk about this when it was on the PC like last year sometime, what I loved about it is I've sent on the Giant Bomb podcast, I think it was at the time. They had loads of stories about I went to this character and they did this and they did that. Right now, I've sort of avoided most of the people because I'm just focusing on just getting some money behind me and growing my crops and that sort of stuff. So I haven't really. I've met almost everyone in the town and said hello, but I haven't really done much other than that. I haven't gotten on any birthday presents. I haven't made any quests. I'm really just focusing on the farm, which is again good. You can basically focus on just the farm. You can ignore the other people. You can do mining. You can do fishing. So I do like the fact that it's not funneling me down like do this. There are things you can do. You know what? There was a quest log, but you can take it as easy or as hard as you want. This game totally goes against everything that I do in games. You can't really. Well, you probably can min-max this, but I'm really trying to avoid that as much as I can. I'm not looking at guides about the best crop or best this or best that, or I'm just trying to relax and play it, and I'm probably enjoying it more as a result, actually. I'll obviously come back next week. I would have subscribed to a Stardew Valley podcast, been on the Reddit, and downloaded like a 50-page guide of IGN.
I think you would enjoy games more when you stop that min-maxing bollocks.
Maybe Stardew Valley is the one to do it. I mean, so far I've just been walking around and doing my crops and stuff, and it's a really nice chill game, and really enjoying it. I hope I keep playing it.
I'm praying that it is that game because it'll make Destiny a lot more fun when we play. For sure.
Well, no. I'd like the min-maxing of Destiny.
Really?
I like min-maxing almost every game.
You're not. I mean, you can't buy anything from Xur because you're saving everything, so you're not getting any legendary marks.
That's not true. I bought the thing this week.
You min-max for like a few weeks, right? And I've got far more. Like my power level's a lot higher than yours. You're nowhere near raid ready. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the problem. Maybe if you played more and less time on your spreadsheets, then we could actually be doing a raid by now.
Actually, I've barely really even thought about Destiny. The other game I played is Fortnite, and when we were playing the other night, you're like, "Oh, should we play Destiny?" And I was like, "I would have much rather played more Fortnite than Destiny."
Really?
Only because at the moment in Destiny, I won't mention this much, but I'm sort of stuck around 269, and I need to do things like Nightfall and this, that, and the other to get up a level.
Well, I've only done one Nightfall. I mean, I need to do more. I want to do more Nightfalls. I've only completed one Nightfall.
You just
need to work on getting your level up because, you know, I'm at a stage now where the only way that I can progress really is by doing Nightfalls and raids. And I'm not going to do that with a fucking 2-6 whatever.
Yeah, but we played the other night, and I didn't got one level at all. But I read something the other day, and they said, at this part of the game, nothing's going to be over 265. You need to do Nightfall or something else to get higher level stuff.
That's not true. That's not true. You can unlock exotics and
mods.
That's
and
for
stuff.
The blue. Yeah, no, the mods come at 280. That's when that starts kicking off. But yeah, no, that's not true. You can get items higher than what you got now.
I can't get items higher, but a majority of the engrams are all going maxed out at 265. And every engram I've got.
Well, the blue ones are, but just break them down.
Or even legendaries.
Break them down. No.
Yeah, no. All my legendaries are currently 265. Apparently, I've got to get to like 270, and then they'll start changing to 269 or whatever.
Well, that's not in my experience, but okay, fine.
Anyway, Destiny. We played Fortnite because
we did.
I came online, and you guys are playing. You and John were playing that, and I played a couple of games, and it's really good fun. Yeah, it is good. It's all the things you like in PUBG in a different game, and it's really really good fun. I would have happily played way more.
Our first game of duos, we got in the top 4.
Yeah, I think I got number 3 in my first game.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Brilliant.
And then after that, we got pummeled a little bit, but it was still. Well, what did you like about it? Because you played PUBG, you played this. What are the major differences, and what works and what's missing?
I mean, arguably the biggest difference. Oh, not arguably, the biggest difference definitely is the crafting. But I didn't do any crafting. I was still sort of getting my head around how the game works anyway. And no, it's got all the tension, all the excitement of PUBG, but in this game I can actually play now on a console, and I think that's a really big part of the draw. It's really fun, me and you just go around the map, going into buildings, trying to get weapons and whatnot, and like giving, you would give me weapons. We're sort of trying to find our way to the circle, and no, it's all the things that everyone loves about PUBG, but in a game I can play right now on a console, and I think it's brilliant fun. Yeah, I would happily that. It makes me more excited to play that than more Destiny, in all honesty.
That's sad. Destiny's really,
No,
really
I know,
good. I'm still
haven't-
loving it, and
haven't put enough
I
time
need
into it.
people to be able to play with.
I know. I've been
But-
so busy. I just haven't played it. I feel like I barely played it in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, I was away on holiday, and I was even before holiday. I hadn't played it as much because I was busy, and then I've been busy last week. Anyway, I hope to God this week I can get back on it. 'Cause I need to get back on it.
Part of me was hoping James would be fucking bang up there now by now, but he's sort of dwindled away as well, isn't you?
Yeah, I need to get back into it again as well, actually.
Yeah, please do, because
yeah.
I'm fucking dying for. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I should have got it on Xbox, really. It's a stupid mistake. Should have got it on Xbox. I've got a whole group of friends that play regularly, and they've all been talking about how they're trying out the raid and stuff. And here I am stuck on PS4. No, okay, we'll play it together. And
I'm busy.
Fucking. We'll sort it out. Yeah, the one thing I've got to tell you about that night that we played Fortnite. I mean, I love you, Matt, but when you're playing with someone that's played the game quite a bit over the past couple of weeks, maybe listen to what they got to say. Right, James, this is what happened. So, if you want to get far in this game, Fortnite, 100 players go into a server, everyone's shooting each other. If you get into a gunfight straight away, I mean, it's completely pointless. You'll either get killed or left with hardly any health, right? Mm-hmm. And then you just restart and go into a new one. What you need to do is find a house, hold up, and do circle management. What we call circle management. So a circle appears on the map. You've all got to get into that circle within a certain time. Otherwise, something gets closer and closer. Like there's a larger circle, like a red circle, that sort of gets closer and closer to the white circle. If you're outside of the white circle when the red circle's coming in, you start to lose health. So you've got to get in there eventually, right? Otherwise you'll just die. And so a large part of the game is get a base, hold up, let it dwindle down to about 50 players in next to no time. Then you start making sure that you're avoiding conflict. You make your way to the centre of the circle, then set up base again. You don't really start going on attack unless A, you have to, or B, there's quite a few less players than there was. Like, say you're in the top 20, top 10, that's when you start going, okay, it's time to start picking people off. We were in a base right at the start, totally fine, right? And Matt goes, no, we shouldn't be here, let's go running off. I went, Matt, no, trust me, I've played this game a lot. Let's just stay here. Door flings open, off he runs. I'm going, Matt, come on now, mate. Come on. Just listen to my advice. Just for one, I'm not saying it because I'm good at the game, because I'm not brilliant. I've won a couple, but, it's by the by. Yeah. I played it for a long time. Just listen to what I got to say for 5 minutes. What's the matter with you? And we're supposed to be on the same team, Matt.
I did listen to you. We were in that house. Like you said, stay there,
we were in the house. That was after. I'm talking about when we were in the tunnel. We were in that room in the tunnel, and you were like, "No, this isn't good. Surely we should be running around. Surely it's better to be running around in the middle of nowhere."
I said, "Surely we should run around." You said no. I said, "Okay."
No, you didn't. You ran out. You opened the door and ran off. I was like, "Oh, for fuck."
Anyway, good game.
So, how did Matt's strategy of running around pan out? Did it work?
Well, no, there wasn't really a strategy,
No.
Dave. James, I might have done it once, and I was in the tunnel, and then after that, Dave died earlier than me, and I got top 3, and then that's it, really.
Hold on, right. We're on a team. This is the other thing with Matt, because he can't do this. That Matt has got no ability to work in a team.
That's not
right?
true
He's
at
got
all.
zero
I was behind
ability
you the
to
whole
work in a
time.
team. Absolutely no ability to work in a team. When you're playing Rocket League with him, right, he will constantly, like, if he finishes MVP, he will constantly bring that up.
That's because it never happens.
Well done, we've won as a team. It's constantly, well, look at what I did. Well, MVP, me. And I'm going, yeah, all right, Matt, but all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, give him a big one.
When it comes to this, I knew he was going to bring up the fact that I died early, right? I think there was about 20 left, and then I died. And then Matt went on to get into the top 3. I will point out that I died shooting the guys that were shooting at Matt in this house. So I killed 2 of them. There was a third one around the corner and killed me. I thought, okay, fine, teammate, go on, Matt, go for it. But now he's throwing it back in my face. Well, I got further than you.
Look,
yeah, I was basically your fucking bodyguard, Matt.
Thank you.
Your bodyguard.
Oh,
I took a bullet for you. Do you reckon that's what would happen? If someone pulled a gun on Matt and I jumped in the way and got shot and killed himself, like, what? I got shot and killed, saved Matt's life. For the rest of his life, he'll be going, well, I'm living longer than Dave.
Yeah, I'm like, Joe, Dave died. Loser! Dave did, yo. Look at me, I'm tough.
When it comes to serious game, like when we're having a laugh and a joke, I love playing with Matt. It cracks me up. It's brilliant fun.
Brilliant man.
When we're being serious,
Great man.
when we're taking it seriously, and you cross that line and it's, okay, right, we've got to knuckle down. Matt's a fucking nightmare to play
we played
with.
the war like 2 or 3 games, if that. I was just getting a lay of the land. I want to play more. Brilliant game.
Do you know what's a good way to get a lay on the land? Listen to the guy that's put many hours into it.
Thank you, top 3. Without you, I'll be, I don't know, top 20 or something. Pathetic. Great game. Please can we play more? I know we want to play Destiny, but I would definitely like to play more of that game.
Well, we've got to stream it, haven't we? We've got to do a four-man stream of that. I mean, John would be up for it. Me, you, John, and James. I mean, James would be hilarious on it. I'd love to see.
I'd like to have a go because I've never played this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's do it.
I can't do it tomorrow because I'm watching Blade Runner, and I'm a busy man. I want to play this week though, definitely.
Well, what's your name? James Farley. Like, we'll name a date and we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll get it on Twitch.
November.
We'll do it.
Is this on Xbox or PS4 you're playing?
I got them both free, innit?
Yeah, let's not play on Xbox, Jesus. I mean, but I can do if you desperately want to.
Why would you desperately want that?
He loves the
James?
Xbone, doesn't he?
I want to play on the Xbone, yeah. That's the thing.
Okay, is that your list, Matt?
So I started playing Fortnite. Well, I jumped in your party, and I was of a somber mood somewhat because I had finished Rhyme. Now, last week, listeners will remember I talked about Rhyme. The game, obviously, a lot of people said, "Oh, it's okay. It's not a lot to it." I said I was quite enjoying it. It has a lot of influences from games like Journey, Last Guardian, etc. It doesn't do an awful lot unique. That was before I finished the game, and I finished it, and the ending blew me away. I mean, I'm obviously not going to say anything about the ending, but the ending basically totally reframes the game. And whereas last week I was saying, I think it could be quite one of those quite ambiguous games. No, it's not that at all. The ending happens and it makes you rethink everything you've seen and played in the game. It's got a real, emotional kick at the end, shall I say. And it's definitely one of it's going to be one of the most memorable game endings I've played ever. I liked the game before. I thought the game was really good, even though, as we discussed last week, it's not totally full of new ideas. Its influences are very, very clear. I still enjoyed it a lot, and the ending, it was so special that I think it's a fantastic game. Obviously the trouble is the game is, I'm not going to say anything about the ending, and so it's probably a bit frustrating hearing about this, but if you have a chance to play it and then play through to the end, because I thought it was fantastic. The ending's just so good. I still think about it now, and I still think, wow. Yeah. I mean, when I just finished playing it and I, saw you and John, Dave were playing Fortnite, I jumped on and I was like, alright. And then you go, oh, how's it going, Matt? I'm like, oh, just finished rhyming it. And I was just in one of those weird moods, after you see like a really amazing movie and you're in this like weird daze for an hour or two, you're trying to piece together everything that just happened. I was definitely in one of those moods, and even now I think about it, oh my God. I mean, one of the most emotional endings.
Why do you think it got a bit of a lukewarm response then?
See, this is what I was wondering about this, because, is the lukewarm sort of reception to it from people that haven't finished it?
I mean,
because everyone, I know that you really loved it, and then also somebody else, like Osiris, that I know, he played it and finished it, and he also really, really loved it as well. And is it just that other people didn't finish it, and so they didn't get the whole thing?
It would certainly feel that way. I mean, I've since, obviously after watching it, I looked at some, spoiler chats, and even then they were saying, yeah, really fantastic ending, but some of the puzzles were a bit rubbish, they weren't very challenging, and yeah, I can see that, but I think for me, it was exactly the right level of challenge. It wasn't too hard, but it
would be for you, you know what I mean?
I am rubbish at games.
The easier the better for you.
But yeah, so some of the issues that I've heard other people lay at it, I don't mind, and it kept me going through the game. It wasn't too hard. I thought level design was fantastic. It made me feel like I was making my own choices about where to go, but actually that's just the way the level was. Yes, the challenges can be quite simple, they're repetitive in some aspects, but for me it was great. But the ending, it just totally reframes everything, and I think I haven't really played a game with an ending that does that to the rest of the game. I mean, I'm sure there's loads of examples. I just haven't played other games like it. And yeah, last week I was recommending, if you're a fan of that genre, if you like games like Journey, etc. But I think if you have the opportunity, the ending is just so special. James, you should get it. Well, you should both get it.
I will, yeah. I'm planning to. I mean, as I said, I'm still waiting for the Switch version. But,
How much is it?
I don't know right now. I'm sure it's probably quite cheap considering it didn't do terribly well. But I bet you can get it cheap. But yeah, brilliant game. I thought. I mean, overall, I'll probably give it like I guess 8 or 9. So it's obviously not a million miles away from the 7s and 8s I got previously. But regardless of overall, all the games like the ending is just so good, and the fact it redefines everything you've played up to then is brilliantly done. And actually, so it's Tequila Works who do the game. I looked at some of their other games, and they're actually working on a PSVR game, which is out tomorrow, I think, or yesterday, as you hear this, I think it's called The Invisible Hours, and hopefully you get code for that. And that, I believe, is like a murder mystery type game, which they say
Funny enough, we just had an email in saying, yeah, if you're getting code for it. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's called The Invisible Hours or something like that, and they say it's a game that can only be done in VR. I mean, I guess we'll see if that's the case. But if the writing is anything like it is in Rhyme, I'm really excited to see what that is. So if that's the case, I'll definitely be hopefully playing it this week and talk about that next week.
Cool. Right. Okay. That's your lot. That's it? Okay. So just a quick one, really. I've played a lot more Golf Story. It is a game that frustrates in that it could have been so much better. It's a game that really needed a little bit more time to iron out certain kinks. Not in terms of gameplay. I think the golf in it is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's got some great ideas on something that we've done a million times. In terms of press A, then press A again, and then press A. It does mix it up a little bit more later in the game, and the courses themselves are full of little obstacles and traps and bits and pieces that keep things fresh and interesting, and it feels genuinely satisfying to play. It's got a problem with quests and explaining to the player like what you're supposed to do to progress. Definitely. There are moments where I'm kind of like, I've got no idea what I'm supposed to be doing now. I've got this quest line, it's telling me what to do, but I've got no idea what it's actually asking. Like, let me give you an example. There's a bit where there's a whole area where it sort of it takes the piss a little bit out of the item swapping quests. Do you know what they are?
Is that like when you get a random item that you take to someone else, they give you an item?
Yeah, and then they give you an item, and then you've got to find who that
Monkey
item's
Island, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so it's got that, but it's pretty straightforward because all the characters in one little area, and they're just saying like, "Oh, I need an ice cream," so you get something, and then you go on a chain of just talking to them and getting to do things. But one of them, it said something like, "There's a lot of hard objects around here, and I need 4 crab food, 4 tins of crab food, and that's it." And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll go about my daily business. I'm sure I'll find. And I had no idea what it was. And it was only because I accidentally hit a ball against a barrel that the barrel exploded and gave me some crab food. That I went, oh, right, so I'm supposed to hit balls against barrels now, am I? Like, there was no indication that crab food should be in barrels. There was no indication that even that item could explode when you hit it with a ball. It's that sort of stuff that it gets wrong. Like, the communication is just not there, and that leads to moments. And, I've been following the Fred and Roll muck, and there's a lot of people saying, okay, I've got no idea what I'm supposed to do now. A lot of people think the game's broken because they think like the quest line's broken, whatever they're supposed to do next has been glitched out, and that's not the case. They later find out that they're just doing the wrong things. That stuff sucks, but I cannot stop playing it. And I can't wait to play more of it. the last thing that I did was the area with that quest thing. Once I'd done it and then did the 9-hole course on that course, it then led to a string of storytelling and little bits and pieces. So I entered a driving range competition against a pro, and then there was this whole dinner scene, and then there was a proper tournament match, and then I was at a party. Right, I laughed non-stop throughout those sections. Like, it was funny throughout. The dinner scene is just one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a game. And as I said last week, it's light on humour, and it's predictable, and it's, you know, it's not in your face, it's not offensive or whatever. But the timing of the jokes is just perfect. The way it's directed is perfect. It just constantly made me laugh. And the characters, I love the characters in that game. They're brilliant. So although there is still a lot wrong with it, I can't get anywhere near disappointed with it, because it's cracking me up from start to finish. James, I genuinely think you'd love this. I really think you'd love this.
Yeah, it was either this or Stardew Valley, and I went for Stardew Valley, but maybe...
Regretting it?
Well, I don't know, because I'm still going to play that, so probably not.
I think you get pissed off, as someone who has played RPGs in the past, I think you'll get pissed off with how light it is on RPG. It really isn't an inventory game. It's really not, the leveling up system's really basic, and, it doesn't really feel like an RPG as such. It feels like a golf game with these really, really funny characters in them, doing really funny things.
I'm fine with that. That sounds good.
How much have you played? Are you a fair way through it?
Oh yeah, I would say I'm probably in the final third. Probably. Okay. I mean, it feels like it's building up to the end. But there are still some areas
just
before
the last bit, you reckon?
Yeah. I think I've got to do a whole little section, and then I'll be on, like, leading up to the final few bits of that game. I've heard the ending's very, very tricky, but I don't know. We'll see. There's some weird difficulty spikes here and there as well. There's like basically the whole way you progress through the game is you go to a new course. There's loads of people asking you to do loads of little challenges. You complete the challenges, and then you go and do a 9-hole thing. And then you get to move on to the next course. That's the basic progression through the game. It does change things up a little bit here and there, but that's essentially how you get through this game. And I'm at a point now where I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm heading, and part of me just doesn't want it to end, because we were talking about this with Everybody's Golf, because when you play a golf game, it doesn't feel like much effort. Like, you can sit there and play it for an hour and not even think about it and really enjoy it. I mean, obviously, you're focusing on how to play and you're concentrating on your putting and you're taking stuff, but it feels as though you can play that sort of game forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it feels quite relaxing. Is that what you're saying?
Bored.
Just because those sorts of games, it's but being able to play it online, chat with your mates, it's par for the course, isn't it?
The thing is that you can sit and play a golf game like this for hours on end and just enjoy it. That's probably the right way to put it. You could just sit and enjoy it, but then when you've got the story alongside it, you're loving the bits in between. And that gets you to a point where you're kind of like, oh yeah, the story has to end at some point. And I think I'm going to be genuinely gutted when this stops. I really hope that they're going to work on a golf story too. Because I think once you start ironing the kinks out, and hopefully they've made some money out of this and they can spend a little bit of money on developing a sequel, I think this could be something really interesting. I mean, it could be a proper franchise. I don't want to use that word because this is an indie game and that's not what it's about. But I think this could be something that could come up regularly, and I would enjoy it if it keeps up the level of humour and keeps up the writing and the passion that's clearly gone into it. But then irons out the creases.
Could it work with other sports then, do you think? Like football or whatever?
Not really. Possibly.
Curling?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't think. Because I think a big part of it is the golf and the relaxing nature of playing a golf game. And people that are into golf games know what I mean. And as I say, I don't mean that it's faultless and brainless. I just mean that it's just really relaxing to play. And are you going to get that with a football game? I don't think so. Probably not. So, I don't know. I'm going to be gutted when this ends, and I properly recommend it. It's as we say with so many games, it's perfect for the Switch, just to kick back and put your headphones in and play this. It's been a big surprise to some extent, because once we first saw the trailers, we kind of got the concept and we thought it was an excellent one. But I'm surprised by how well it pulls off the humour and the characters in the game, because it really works. Yeah, to get that. The other game that I've been playing wasn't on a console itself. It was a computer game. So John and I went down to a place called Bounce in central London. Which, have you been to one of these places, Matt?
No. What, central London?
So it's a nightclub. No, a place called Bounce. I think that they're everywhere. They've got these. It's basically a nightclub filled with table tennis tables, and the idea is that you go in and you buy a bucket of balls, and you play table tennis, and you don't have to worry if the ball goes flying off somewhere, because there's a bloke just walking around picking them up from the floor. So it keeps the game snappy and fun, and you can have a beer and a bit of a laugh. I went 2 years ago, I think, with a few friends, and we had a really good time. Well, they've introduced this new thing called Wonder Ball, and we went down and checked it out just before it launched in their in their bar. And what they've done is they've created this. It's sort of a projector above obviously like a proper high definition projector thing above the table tennis table, and it somehow can censor the ball. Like, so what it does, it puts computer games on the table tennis table, and it just adds, it's brilliant.
So you sound like someone's granddad
fucking
there.
Brilliant. Well, I don't know how else to explain it. It projects games onto the table that you play, and it doesn't have to be like. So we got this invite to this wonderful thing, and the future of table tennis. We had no idea what we were walking into, and then we kind of we sort of thought, well, we'd heard that it'd been projecting games onto the table, but what's that going to be like? But when you combine games and sort of that real world stuff, it felt like an excellent arcade game, like proper arcade machine. Because when you go into an arcade and it's not your traditional, joystick or whatever, there's usually like a gimmick or something like that. It felt like that in the middle of this pub. I mean, granted, we got smashed, but so there were several ways to play. You could play normal table tennis and it would keep score. You could play rally games and keep you can own the table essentially. Although at this point, because it's still quite an early concept, there's it only lasts until you switch game mode. And we were chatting to the guys that made it, and we were like, no, what you've got to do is make sure that, with this rally game that you're playing, and it counts it projects these huge numbers every time you hit the ball, and the further you get into it, so when you get to 20, the table starts going all weird to try and screw with your eyes while you're trying to keep the rally going. So the table's essentially trying to put you off. You should be able to own that table, put your name in and own that table, so that, that's the sort of record for that specific table. They're working on that apparently. But there was also there was a game mode that we really liked called, what was it? Odd Job Squad or something like that. And it's an 8-player game, and it's kind of like beer pong. Have you played that, mate?
Yeah,
you must have played that. Right. So you select a character, and you take it in turns it's basically killer. You have to throw the ball over to the other side of the table, and it's got a bounce within a target of that character, and you knock a life off them, and you can recover lives by hitting yourself and knock it. Fucking brilliant. It was brilliant. I didn't expect that. I thought it was all going to be like proper normal table tennis and different variations of table tennis, but that was just fantastic. We were playing with strangers. I was playing with John, trying to knock each other out and all that sort of stuff. But there was a bit of an awkward moment in the night that I kind of wanted to tell you about. So one of the guys that worked on the thing, you could tell at one point that he's a proper gamer, and you know what I mean by that, Matt?
Oh yeah.
What do I mean?
Well, he doesn't just play your FIFAs. He plays pairs. Doesn't just play your CODs.
You don't know. You don't know what I mean. If you're like me, and I'm pretty sure you are as well, Matt. If you're playing a game, no matter what it is, it could be a board game with your kid, or it could be, down the arcades in, Butlins. You want to win, don't you? Now, this guy was there trying to show it off to press, to try and get them to talk about it and enjoy it and stuff. But you could see a little switch in his head where he couldn't just, he was taking it seriously as well when he was playing against us. And I don't know what it is about John Denton, but that guy he must be amazing at beer pong, because he was just not missing all night when we were playing this game where we had to knock each other out by throwing the ball. He was just unbelievable. So you could see that this dev was getting a little bit wound up with us, and I fucking caught him dropping the ball on John's character when we were playing with other people. He was holding he was catching the ball when it was going the other side of the table. He was literally dropping the ball on John's character to knock lives off him, right? He was getting a little bit wound up that John was so good at this game. So anyway, it started to die down, and the guy turned around to all the guys that had worked on the game and said, "Come on, let's have a team game. Let's play like an 8-player game of this." I went, "All right, yeah, I'm up for it." And I overheard him say, "Go for that guy." And it was my character. "Make sure you go for the seal. Go for the seal." And I just went, "Okay, right, John, he's telling all his mates to go for me. So are we just going to try and knock him out?" And John was like, "Yeah, let's try and knock him out." Right. So we had our first go. He knocked a life off me, right? Then John knocked a life off him, and then I knocked a life off him. Then it was the next round. He put a life back on himself, right? Then John locked a life off him, and then I killed him off, right? And I've never seen a man get so angry. He was getting fucking pissed off that we'd wiped him out so early. The awkward moment come when I turned around to John and put my arms out sideways, as if to say, "Yeah, done him," type thing. And he thought I was going to shake his hand. And I didn't realise that he went to shake my hand as I was pulling my arms back down.
Oh,
so it looked like I'd held my hand out for him.
No handshakes.
And then done a fake out. And I walked over, and John just went, "That's the most awkward thing I've ever seen." And I didn't see it. So I said, what happened? He said, "It looked like you knocked him out, went to shake his hand, and then whipped your hand away from him." And I just went, "Oh shit." And I looked back, and he did look. He said, "I've not seen anyone look so furious."
Absolutely mugged him off at his own game.
Matt, if you get the chance to play one of these things, we have got to get together and have a few beers.
Yeah, there's a few table tennis bars up here in Leeds, but none of this bounce stuff.
That was the other thing. The other game mode they had was the really good one was Hexagon. So it's like normal table tennis, but the whole table was covered in hexagons with different points on it. So the idea is that you have to make the ball bounce as many times on the other person's side as possible. So a lot of the time you're literally just volleying it to one another, making sure it doesn't hit your side of the table. But if it does, then you get that amount of points, and it tots all the points up. And then there are power-ups and bonuses and stuff like that you could get. Fucking brilliant. And to be fair to that guy that I accidentally completely mugged off, we played a game of that afterwards, and he absolutely thrashed me, and we sort of shook hands.
I guess at that point you let him. Were you looking behind you?
I can't claim that. I should have done that. I should have just let him, or just refused to play.
Yeah, I'll shake your hand this time. You fucking brilliant.
It was really. I mean, I haven't had a night out like that for a long time. I mean, it's always good hanging with John anyway, but we were properly having a good laugh playing with this thing. And if you get the chance, it's called Wonderball, and I don't know if it's bounce specific. I think it is. But definitely get your asses down there and sort a night out with your mates. It's good, Matt. You would honestly, I know you.
I know you know me. I know that I know you.
You'd love this. You'd absolutely love it.
All over that.
Get on it. And that's it. That's all I've been playing. I was hoping that the Life is Strange episode 2 was. I'm so ready for episode 2 of that now. I'm really pissed off that it's not out yet. Have you bought it?
No.
Oh, the episode 1's fantastic. You played it, didn't you, James?
I did. Yeah, we talked about it. It's good.
Are you not desperate for episode 2 yet?
Yeah. I'd love to play it.
I'm fucking dying for it. I thought it was coming out this week. Apparently not.
Well, I've got a week to play it then.
Oh, well.
How long did you say it lasts? About 3 or 4 hours, or
no, less than that. 2.5, 3.
Cool. Okay, I'll
like
if I get a free evening, I'm not playing one of the other 50 games, and I'll play that.
Half playing the other 50 games. Okay, cool. Should we get on to emails?
Yep. If you want to email us, it's thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. The first one's from Adam Turner. He says, fantastic podcast, which I always look forward to listening to every week. Keep up the good work. Sending this email has reminded me that I need to drop some money in your tip jar again. I shouldn't have read that bit, sorry.
No, shameless.
Unbelievable, James.
You said we were going to mention it once a month, and there's James, like, he's seeing potential to buy that Pro Controller and get that copy of the FIFA on the Switch back.
I recently found myself humming Epona's theme from Zelda, Ocarina of Time. That's right, isn't it?
What is going on with your brain with that game?
I don't know.
It's the weirdest thing.
That's right, though, isn't it? That's right,
Mate,
isn't it?
Say it again?
Ocarina of Time.
No, that is not right.
How do you say it? Say it again.
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time. That's the I don't know what
Ocarina of Time.
Okay,
it's not an Irish game.
Did you not know this, Matt? So
I know.
James,
I know. I used to say Ocarina of Time, which is wrong.
James for years has called it Ocarina of Time.
It's not Lord of the Rings.
And now he's gone to Ocarina of Time. Ocarina.
Say it again, Matt. Say it again, Dave.
Ocarina of Time.
Okay, Zelda Ocarina of Time to my 18-month-old daughter to help her settle before she sleeps at bedtime. To my surprise, it works a treat, and like other parents, if it works, don't question it until it stops working and then try something else. Have any of you used video game references or songs in the upbringing of your children? If so, please feel free to share with a fellow dad. Looking forward to playing games with my daughter, as she has already taken a liking to Mario Kart 8.
I'm not sure this counts, but obviously, I play video game music for Harry all the time, like from Splatoon 2 to Mario Kart songs, everything, right? But the one that will always stick with me is it was probably the first time he ever responded to music, like properly responded to music, and it was it was sort of the loading music to Yoshi's Woolly World.
You're both doing it now.
Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah, I know. I've been hanging around James too long. It's sort of like this little guitar intro music. And I remember playing it because I was playing it a lot. Harry was like a baby. And he just let off the biggest grin every time it come on. And that was it. I turned the Wii U off again and then loaded it up again just to see his little face. That was the first time he ever responded to that sort of music. And then I got it on my phone and stuff, and I play it for him and that. But yeah, that was really nice. I love that shit.
I still do that. I mean, one of the things I think that Rachel first responded to like that actually was, do you remember? You probably don't remember, like Dry Docks for Mario 64. It's like really sort of relaxing, like water kind of music.
Oh, of course. Dry Docks. Yeah.
And I used to play that to her to get her to go to sleep, and it used to totally work. It was brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, and she still, if she hears it, she still thinks it's cool. So yeah, it's good.
Well, not gaming related, but Harry, to get him to sleep, there were two really good things. One of them was the Rockabye, what was it called? Rockabye Baby or something. And it was, rock tunes, but in lullaby form. And they had a really good rendition of Everlong by Foo Fighters. So again, that song's got a place in my heart now forever. Because I just think of Harry being a baby then. And what was the oh my god, it was so weird. Dubstep used to make him go to sleep. Like, he used to just drop asleep at, like, mad dubstep, like Skrillex and shit. It was just weird. I used to put Skrillex on and dance around his bedroom with him in my arms, and he used to just nod off. It was nuts. Always worked. Bizarre one.
Yeah, for us, it was Bastille's Pompeii song.
How's that go?
I'm not going to sing it. It's a semi-dance track. It's good. And we played that literally hundreds of times. I mean, there wasn't anything to get her to sleep, but when she was a baby, that would somehow stop her crying. So obviously, I did just like Adam's email said, if it works, don't question it. So we played Pompeii from Bastille hundreds of times. And even now when we play it, we have a nice little feeling. It remembers as we remember the old days, but in terms of gaming, no, we haven't really done anything. The only references or songs she understands is something from like "Dude, Where's My Car?" When I'm saying like "Still in the bashing time," like all day, every day. And now she says that, which I'm quite proud about.
Oh God, that's the other one as well, right? This weekend, Harry was sitting humming a song, and I couldn't work out what it was. It kept going, and I'm going, where's that from, Harry? And Joe told me it's a song that goes something like da 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 USA, da 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 USA, from the Super Mario 3 cartoon that's on Netflix. And he's obsessed with that now. He keeps humming that. So that's another video game related one. So yeah, weird. Kids are weird.
They can be.
They can be.
I thought you'd enjoy that. So tweets, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Lingston says, what game did Sean play yesterday? I know he isn't there, but please answer him with for him and his dad mouth.
What?
That's what it says.
For him and his dad mouth.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I don't know. What game did he probably play? Probably played a bit of Golf Story, because that's on the Switch. I don't know. Gareth's Big Cardigan. The sort of games he plays in it. A little help here, guys.
Yeah.
Don't just go
I'm
quiet.
trying to think of a
little
pun
bit of help.
or something
You're on the
related
show.
to birth.
Next question.
Nicodola says, if you could have one wish granted, what would it be and why? Further wishes are exempt.
What, one wish? What do you mean? Like, it could be anything.
I'd wish we could keep the shows under 2 hours. That'd be nice.
This week as well,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, brilliant. Right, we're all talking. Most of my games we've talked about before. There's just three of us. There's no news, no tweets.
God, fucking 20 past.
It's not.
Jesus,
It's a big one
yeah.
again.
I didn't realise it was that
We
late.
can't not do it. Well, how about like a gaming related one? Let's at least tie it in.
Okay.
Well, gaming related one is, like VIP pass, like VIP tickets to Queens of Stone Age next month. So if anyone out there can make that happen, they're playing at the O2 and they're playing at Wembley Arena. Get in touch. Be my wish. be my genie, and get me VIP passes to the O2. Cheers. But gaming related ones, it probably Left 4 Dead 3. That would probably be my gaming wish. I'd love Left 4 Dead 3.
And yet you won't play the Warhammer game, which is apparently another Left 4 Dead style game.
It's a Left 4 Dead style game, but it's not Left 4 Dead, is it?
Yeah, but if you love Left 4 Dead so much, you'll love another game in that same vein.
No, that's not how it works, is it?
What?
I like the style of Left 4 Dead. I like the themes. I like
Gameplay?
the characters. Yeah, the gameplay as well. But, it's everything about Left 4 Dead, not just the gameplay. All right? And if I'm having a wish, it'd be that, probably. Also wish that I had a PS4 Pro. Next. Be my genie. Go on, Matt.
I'm obviously Half-Life 3. That's never going to happen. But, it's a wish. I can do what I want.
It'd be shit.
I want Virtual Console on the Switch.
Oh, come on, James.
Okay.
Anything. That's what you're going to say.
Yeah, out of anything, that's what you want.
I want that. I really do want that.
What would be the first game you buy on Virtual Console?
None, because I'm going to hopefully upgrade all the ones I already own.
Yeah, so you have to pay £1 to upgrade all those, so which is the first one you're going to pay to upgrade?
So say that doesn't happen, what would be the first game you buy?
Let me think. What is it going to launch with? At least help me to narrow it down.
All Nintendo games.
Ever.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Up till the SNES.
Earthbound. There you go.
God. Alright, go on.
Next one we've got is, why didn't Sega just keep putting out 2D Sonics? Clearly the best way for Sonic to work. That's from Leave the Night.
Because didn't it go down to... Wasn't it shit, like, from Sonic 2?
No, it was not.
It was
Sonic
shit
3
from
was-
Sonic 1, really.
Sonic and Knuckles was good
Sonic
as well.
3 and Knuckles, wasn't it? Wasn't Sonic
Sonic
3 the
3
Knuckles one?
Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles were good games. There was nothing wrong with them at
Yeah,
all.
Sonic 3 is
There's
massive.
nothing wrong with them.
No, it was before. It was the beginning of the Shitty Friends, but you know, it was. Well, it wasn't really because. Yeah, well,
I mean,
Knuckles.
I even
there's
liked,
a few count
I
as
even
a
liked
Shitty
Sonic R on the Saturn. But I would do.
Sonic R was crap.
I liked it. I played enough of it to like it.
Sonic Jam was good. You had those
That's-
little
That's
running bits.
basically just. Yeah, but that's just all the 2D Sonics.
No,
Isn't
but but that's the only time 3D Sonic has ever been any good.
Sonic Adventure,
When it was-
Dave.
it? No, Sonic Adventure. Isn't it? That
No.
really genuinely was never.
I
good,
liked
but
it.
There you go.
Up yours.
Next question.
Athena Allen says, I've been away for a week. Wi-Fi coverage was terrible and I spent multiple hours battling to download Golf Story. My question is this, what's the hardest you've ever worked to get a game?
Hardest I've ever worked to get a game. I've got an answer for this. Toy Story on the Mega Drive. The amount of places we had to go to get Toy Story on the Mega Drive was unbelievable. My mum and dad went to so many wharfs to try and get a copy, but it was sold out everywhere, man. Yeah, that was a tough one to get. Either that or the original Rock Band, which we had to import from America. You were part of that crowd as well, weren't you,
Yeah,
Matt?
I imported that, for like 6 months before it came out. It was amazing.
It was about 130 quid,
Up
wasn't it? We
180, I
paid for
think.
that.
Oh, yeah, but did you buy it from Rollmuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing, yeah.
I think it was 130.
Yeah, whatever, yeah. Yeah,
I could be wrong.
That's still got one of my greatest game memories of. At that point, I was going to Manchester pretty much every weekend, but playing with James and Lizzie and Ben and loads of people playing Rock Band every weekend. We're absolutely loving it. Skip forward to UK launch weekend. They had a band set up in HMV in Manchester. You can move like guitar, drums. I think it's just guitar and drums, actually, 2 guitars and drums. And we went on and we'd all hammered it at that point. So I had like expert drums, all playing maps, expert guitars, absolutely killed it. Like to the point where afterwards, someone actually whittled out we had not a huge crowd, but people were watching us play this and absolutely crush it on maps. And someone went woo at the end of it and had like a mild round of applause.
That was definitely in your head.
No. Well, okay, I guess I have to get everyone else on the podcast to tell you. But yeah, definitely one of the highlights of my entire life.
One guy went, woo!
That's just embarrassing, Matt.
No, it's amazing. Absolutely crushing it on a day, like a day after the game came out. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
What do you think of that, James?
What's
What do you
wrong
think?
with that, James?
It's embarrassing. It's terrible. It's like, I don't know. I just don't like whooping. So, that's one of those things.
I wasn't doing the whooping, I was doing the drums, James. I was doing the cool thing. I was spinning around my fingers. I signed someone's chest. It's all happening.
Do you believe any of that, James?
No, I don't.
It's a shame because it actually happened.
No, it didn't. Go on, James. What's the hardest you've ever worked for a game?
I don't know. I mean, probably PC games, I'd have to say, like getting them to work. That was something that I spent a
Good
lot
answer.
of my teenage years doing.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Because the computer I had was really badly underpowered, and I just remember spending a lot of time trying to get stuff working.
Is there one that
editing
sticks
files.
out?
Probably, I think Quake was one of them, because my computer really wasn't good enough to run it, and I just remember having to... I think I upgraded the computer as well, just so I could play that game. There's a lot of games I played like that, though, where you just ended up having to buy new hardware, because it wasn't, whatever you had wasn't good ugh. So yeah,
Fuck that PC
and
gaming, man. Fuck
that's exactly why I gave it up in the end, because I just thought I can't be bothered with this anymore. It's irritating, but yeah.
I remember,
Okay.
I went to play To the Moon, and I had a Mac at the time, and I had to create. Again, I guess it'd just be like James. I had to create I think the app's called Wine, and you can basically get Windows games to work on Mac, and I had to that was a nightmare, but eventually got To the Moon working, and that's a fantastic game, well worth it.
Yeah, I had to partition my hard drive and get Windows installed just to play. What is that? Bloody Get Hotline Miami. Because I was so pumped for that. But whatever. Good. Okay, cool. Next question.
Last one is Shimmy Hill. He says tea or coffee, to which the answer is obviously coffee. But go on.
Coffee.
Yeah. Different needs. I like both.
Matt.
I mean, if I had to choose, I'm more of a tea drinker, so I'd probably go Twinings English breakfast tea.
Right, okay. Fine. Thanks for living it. Matt, have you got anything to tell people?
Only go to twitch.tv/Computer Game Show. Follow us there to get notified when James is going to do his stream, hopefully in the coming days. There's a Discord. We've got tons of people chatting in there and arguing about clans and stuff. So if you want to join our Discord, there's a link in the show notes, and I'm 100% sure that is going to be in the show notes this week. So click on the show notes to look, or go to our Twitter account, which is twitter.com/computergamepod, and the top tweet is pinned with a link to our Discord. Other than that, we're on all the other social networks, so get involved.
Get involved, and we will see you next week after another week of playing computer games on the fucking internet. Alright, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.